Welcome, I'm your theloladass. So today I'm gonna bring you My Little Dictator. So this game came out today and is developed and published by War Girl Games, like that. War Girl Games. So this is like a visual novel with some elements of RPG and management. I think it's like that because you need at the same time then to do other things. It's a satire parody of World War II. You can see it in here. So like it seems fun because like it's a parody, so it's like a satire parody, so it seems fun like what they show on the game. At the same time, it's not only a visual novel, it has some other elements, but the game has choice and multiple endings, so that's always a good thing. Like I always say on this type of visual novels is that if you have multiple endings, 2 to 3 hours like that, the player then can see other endings. If you only have one ending, 4 hours. But for what I saw is that the game is like 10 to 15 hours like that. So like it's a shame, but at the same time, like I always say, I understand from the perspective of the developer that to justify the price that they put. But at the same time, from perspective of the players, like I would love to see different endings, but it's a shame like you can't beat in one run. You need to split it. So, but I'm gonna try only to see gameplay of the game to see how it is at the same time. So you can see that you have bonus if you want, but you like maybe it's like gallery that you have. So let's start here. So this is different. Select new game. You have the main game, My Little Dictator, but then there is prequel game, the Babel Cat Girl. What is this the future, like a DLC that they're gonna release?
No, you need to beat the game.
So you need to beat the game. So you need to beat this, My Little Dictator, and then it unlocks the prequel game, the Babel Cat Girl. But because you can see there is a cat, maybe it's the cat girl in here. Okay, that's interesting. It's not only one game that brings. It has the main game, but then it has a prequel. Okay, it's always good. 2 games in one. It's better to say like that. So this difficulty, right? Choose a campaign. The main story detailing the exploits of Commander Yamato. Yamato as the battles his way across Europe. So you need to start this one, the conquest, and then you unlock the others. Okay, so you need to unlock. So you need to beat the first one, and then unlock the second, and then unlock the third, and then when you beat, then you unlock the prequel. Okay, that's interesting. Then the difficulty we go, you have the easy, normal and expert. The normal is begin with average command points and receive regular command points after battles. Skip battles is enabled after losing a battle once. Okay, you need to battle once. If you lose, then you can battle again and you can skip. Okay, that's a good thing. Okay. Let's see how it is. Prologue. I was thinking, do I need to press it? But no. 3 years from now, on the sandy plains of North Africa, Siracana, Europa. Dust blows in from across the dunes as the heavy sun beats down from above. The smell of oil and metal wafts through the stifling air. In a remote corner of a canyon, a division of the German army lies cornered. The small group of Panzer tanks waits in silence as the approaching enemies close in. Standing atop a Jagdtegerian, the German commander observes her Britannian counterpart. So this character is Rommel. So we meet at last. I never thought it would be here. Commander Rommel de South Africa Corps. A clash between rivals out in the desert sands. Warriors on both sides wait at their cannons, fingers to the triggers. And he's Monty. It's over, Erwin Rommel. You can't run any longer. Commander Monty, Britannian Rat Army. Why it has ears of a cat? So maybe this is like that cat girl. One thing, this takes back, out forward, options, my menu, quick save and load. Okay, so quick save, how it works. Okay, and these quick loads. Quick load is in here. Okay, and then to save, you press in here and you save like that and return. Okay. Bad Monty, I should have known. Our tanks outnumber yours, 3-1. Your speed won't save you here. We have chased your army to the ends of the earth. Surrender, Rommel, or be destroyed. Smoke billows in from burnout shells nearby, the sites of previous battles. Crumbling ruins on the surrounding hillsides conceal old nests and trenches long since abandoned. The fighting has been arduous and intense. Many have been lost. We are served tired of running. The retreat has not been kind. Sweat drips from their brows, the two titans facing off under the crisp afternoon sky. The face how it is. The Britannian commander smirks as he looks upon his cornered enemy. You have evaded us for far too long. Today it ends. Whatever our fate may be, we must accept them. The wind is biting, the heat is blistering, the desert is not kind, it is a harsh and foreboding world. The soldiers are weary from the fight, they want to see their homes again. Yet they wait upon their commander's words. They hold out until the bitter ends. Ready to fire, ready to flee, ready to lay down their arms or die for their countrymen. We are all victims to fate. It doesn't take a leader to order soldiers into battle. Or did you think I will say something like that? It takes one to lead them in. Huh. Did you forget something, Monty? I am Erwin Rommel, the devilishly sneaky desert fox. I never give in. Are you mad? We have you trapped here, surrounded. There is no way out for you or your girls. Where there's a will, there is a way, and I always find a way. Now! The booming sound of a shell cuts through the air as a concealed tank destroyer on a nearby ridge fires on the Britannians. As an infantry tank goes up in flames, the confused and panicking soldiers hit the deck, scattering and leaving gasps in their lines. And in the distraction, the Dassault's Africa Corps make a break for it, push through the gap and head for the hills. A tight line of Panzer breaks out, speeding through the surrounding enemy and onwards to the horizon. This is impossible. What are you doing? You are letting them get past. Fire! Destroy them! Mounted troops crowd to chase their escaping captives, firing whatever they can at the enemy. See you later, Monty! The nimble feet of the desert fox carry her away from the camp at great speeds. In a flash, she disappears into the sands. A few seconds later, 100 years away, she hops aboard a retreating Germanian pansy. So long, you swelling stink brains! As the entire division pushed out, the Britannian chinchilla tanks try to encircle and cut them off, but the superior speed of the Germanian force makes for a clean getaway. After them! Now! That's an order! At the lead of the Germanian line, the desert fox leads them on and over the dunes. The commander smiles to herself, watching the dust trail the Germanian tanks leave behind. Forward, girls! Forward, I say! Onwards to Gipta and to victory! Suddenly, an artillery barrage comes their way. Shells explode around them as the Britannians pursue closely. Dirt and rocks are kicked in large clouds, while huge craters are blown out of the desert sands. Several pansies are knocked out as fire and smoke spread across the battlefield. Damn! I thought we had them. Well, we'll never lose them at this rate. Analyzing the situation, the fox girl thinks on her feet and plans their next move. You girls go on ahead. I'll catch up with you later. Commander Rommel? What are you doing? Buying you some time to escape. Don't wait up for me. Leaping off the back of the tank, Rommel charges forward and confronts Monty in a head-on battle. Time to battle! Surprise! What a coincidence, Monty. We should meet like this more often. I have had enough of you and your willy ways, fox girl. This ends today. Soon a tornado of sparking plasma shields the two from the outside as they rush head to head. A dark maelstrom forms around them as multi-electric attacks are countered by Romel's wind abilities. Run away, little fox, run away and I will hunt you down like I always do. Foxes don't run from rats, they eat them. The two arch-enemies continue to dance, shooting bursts of energy back and forth, and a battle soon begins. This is it, a showdown between Monty and Romel, the fox and the rat, at odds yet again. Nice, that's cool, like the artwork very good. Many decades earlier. The Reflecting Palace, France. So now goes back to tell the backstory. Because that was happening now, and now it's earlier telling the backstory. A woman stands in the rain, the former Kaisarian of Germania, Wilhelmina. Wringing her hands, she hesitates. The suitcase by her boots soaks up the showering droplets. This for the best. She confirms this to herself. In the opening years of the century, Europe stood on the brink of destruction. The two power groups formed, both intent on imperial expansion. They entered parts of Russia, Britannia and France, and decentralized parts of Germania, Vitalia and Osterhang. Mama, why are you waiting here? The woman's daughter tugs at her sleeve. A small child, she watches her parent curiously. As the woman's makeup runs down her cheeks, she tries to put on a brave face. Go and play with your friend in the rain. Mama has some important business to attend to. In their struggle for dominance, both sides built up their armies. For 4 years, Europa was ravaged by war. Young blood was shed in all frontiers. No nation was spared. Why can't you play with us? Such an inquisitive child. We are not even meant to be here, darling. Our delegation has a very important treaty to sign. If our country signs it, then we can stop the fighting. The war will come to an end. But at what price will such a conflict come to a close? Technology developed, new machines flew above and hauled through the lands. The long and bitter stalemate was broken. A close confidant beckons the Kaiserin to come forward, having found a back entrance. Mama has to go now. Go on, dear, go and play with your friend, but don't tell them who you are. Huh? Why not? Because you are just a normal girl now. There's no need for them to know. Okay, I love you, Mama. The small girl runs off into the courtyard, calling to her forgotten friends. Hey, come and play in the puddles with me. The Kaiserin watched briefly before donning a hat and announced making her way into the palace. With the centralized powers defeated, Germany was at mercy of the Entente. And so their leaders were summoned to France to sign a peace treaty. The former leader of Germany quite watched from the gallery as her country delegates struggled in negotiations. You can't do this. The implications of this treaty will ruin our country. You should have thought of that before waging war with us. It's your warmongering that has brought you here. Germany is solely responsible for the damage done to our lands. Surrender, sign and pay up. You demand from us to confess we are the only guilty party of war? Such a confession in my mouth will be a lie. Germany is the guilt party. Your Kaisarian and their goons plunged our continent into an arms race, desperate for a war. You think we can forget all the lives that have been lost because of Wilhelmina's pride and arrogance? The politicians and officials shout it down as their clamors sound around the hall. But this treaty, it's too unfair. Our nation will cease to a world power. We cannot afford these economic sanctions. Our people will surely suffer. I won't allow this. You have no power to stop this. Germany's delegation must answer the charge. It's either this or the war will continue. We will invade your lands. Which will it be, you stinky crowds? What will Germany choose? War or peace? We demand an answer now. Pull aside by other delegates and holding back tears, the Germanian representatives hung their heads. Quietly and anonymously observing from the shadows, the Kaisarian remains sullen, deep in thought. The negotiations were brutal and left Germany in despair. Forced to bear the cost of the war, the country fell into great debt. The monarchy ended and rebellions, competing factions, and with one fell swoop, the German Empire collapsed. After some time, the former sovereign of Germany comes back out in the rain, expelled from the chamber. From ahead, she sees her daughter dancing the puddles with a boy, yet he is the son of an alliance delegate. One of those that forced this treaty upon her nation. The Kaiserin calls to her daughter. Come on, it's time for us to leave. I've seen what I came here to see. She grabs the little girl's arm. Huh? Where are we going? We are going into exile. Our country doesn't want us now. There's nothing left back home except rebellion or the guillotine. But I have to say goodbye to my friends. Before she can say anything more, the little girl is dragged off by the Kaiserin towards their car. The small boy watches as the two struggle and disappear into the rain and mist. Slowly, he waves goodbye and leaves to find his father. And so events are set into motion, and the world dooms itself to a bitter and uncertain future. The last Great War ended, but its consequences continue to be felt. Europe entered an age of excess before a Great Depression destroyed all economies. It prevented inflation, unemployment, rebellion, civil wars. Democracy faltered as dictators and generals rose to power and promise. Armies were rebuilt, borders violated, peace threat and war loomed once more. Thus the world entered an age of dictator. Like this so fast, I need to read faster in this. Act 1. The invasion begins. Okay. So that was all in the prologue, to understand a little bit. The war in Oresari is a blood affair, can't even read. Yet we continue to fight, never truly knowing what invasion may. Can't even read everything. I think in that part they need to slow down a little bit, not be fast like that the play cool reads. What is quick save? Quick save. And where is save? Yes. Okay, return. Shenzhen Zin, the front line in a war for the conquest of Oryasia by the military empire of Zipangu. This is a bloody and dangerous place, a world away from the peaceful lands that used to exist here. Shell-out cities, countless lives lost and ruined, and a guerrilla war fought in a blowout concrete apartment blocks. Another battle raged amongst the rubble of a former city here in Shenzhen, with no sign of an end in sight. A group of Zipanguese soldiers desperately tries to take control of a warehouse held by 800 enemies. Their offensives have failed so far, and their numbers have dwindled solely in the past hours as many retreated. Several soldiers have been cut off in the walls of the compound, surrounded by the Chinese defenders. South of their position, a tank KTT force has arrived to resupply the warehouse, while armored cars keep watch. The nationalist fighters are battle-hardened veterans, fiercely proud Chinese, and ready to attack at moment's notice. It's enough to strike fear into the hearts of the enemy as Zipanguese soldiers desert their positions. One brave Zipanguese private holds the line as Kitan tank force slowly begins to surround his position. The situation is dangerous. Buying his squad some time, he stands alone, allowing them a chance to escape. A former card sword in hand, the young warrior keeps a determined stance, ready to battle. Staring up at the grey, listless clouds above, he feels the cool breeze blowing against his skin and fox. He has seen much in this bitter and fruitless conflict, yet he continues to fight to save his comrades. Suddenly, the Kitan tank soldiers plunge forward and the battle begins. So here's the part of RPG that they have. Get ready. Fight! Okay, so what we have here, we are level 7 and this level 18. We have skills, blitz, double boost your power for up to 4 turns, okay. They throw grenades, holy shit that damage. What the? Call on your air force to strafe the enemy? Holy shit, look at that damage. Okay, let's see this. and it's that. It's like RPG because like Pokemon. Capture Kogat enters the field. Holy shit! Now we have to face a tank, and we are dead. As the Sorcerers stall out, the enemies keep coming one after the other, firing on his position. Because in here it's not just to win. This is like, okay, to see how it is the RPG style. Like Pokemon, you could see like that. Overwhelmed, the young man slips away into darkness, tumbling and turning and tossing. We need tools, right? You can't win because we are alone. Suddenly I wake up in a cold sweat. Yamato, so this is our character? Where am I? My eyes slowly adjust to the bright lights. Looking around, I find myself in a familiar room. The white bedsheet feels soft against my skin, and a cold breeze rolls in through an open window. This hospital is far too calm. Noon, the present day. Edu Zipangu. Because in the beginning you could see the characters that was for these parts. So it's like this story is about this soldier that we play, but then you, like I say, that you need to then to unlock other two. That then is the story that you need to go. I hold my hand in front of my face and find I'm shaking. Then I slowly remember. Gunfire, smoke, bloodshed. It seems I was dreaming about that battle again. The bloody battle in Zaina that I always dream about. It was the day that turned my military career around. Until then, I'll be nothing more than a low-life foot soldier, an enlisted soldier fighting for my country. But battling in a city like Shenzhen changed things for a young man like me. After days of urban fight, I earned a promotion. Following fighting in Pencheng, I earned another. For the next 2 years I fought and fought until eventually I became the officer I am now, but it came at a price. I've seen a lot, horrifying evil things. I'm haunted by nightmares of the carnage almost every night. What a dream, must be the drugs, making the whole experience more vivid. Our wars on the continent, they aren't exactly noble battles for the faint-hearted. They are delusional horrors. Ugh, ow. Sitting up, I suddenly feel a sharp, stabbing pain in my upper arm. I freeze, gritting my teeth. At the recent battle in Zuishizu, I opened up an old wound in my shoulder when I was shot. It's still tender. While the doctors say the injury didn't seem serious and the surgery was simple, it really does hurt quite a lot still. Shot again in the same spot, and I've been hospitalized ever since. In any case, I should hopefully be out of here in the next few days. Looking to my right, I see a folder left open at my bedside. A discharge form neatly pokes outside, my name printed in bold. Warrant Officer Yamamoto, 21-year-old, cause of admittance, rifle shot to the shoulder. I'm Yamamoto, an officer in the army of the Zimpangese Empire, the Dai Zipango Taikoku Rakugan. Despite my youth and having been enlisted, I'm considered by May to be a great soldier. My victories in battle, holding forsaken positions, somehow beating back superior force, my KDA ratio. I don't believe it myself. It's probably down to dumb luck more than anything. Well, if it isn't the lazy boy soldier, I see you are finally awake. A rather grumpy nurse stands over me. She is the one assigned to watch over this ward. Nearby, other somewhat older soldiers are sat up, reading or chatting about their experience. For some time, this nurse has been trying to get me to mingle with the others. Not that she's as much success. Laziness. That's the trouble with men your age. You shouldn't sleep in so much. Your wound wasn't that deep. Yeah, I know. Hey, we are talking about a rifle shot to the shoulder, you know? Well, even if you were shot and hospitalized, sleeping in until midday is pushing it. This nurse is a real hardball. Fine, I'll try to get up earlier from now on. Glad to hear it. Now, since you are awake, how about you get up and go for a stroll? Your legs are working fine, so go get some fresh air. And for your own sake, start talking to the other patients. How will that help me recover? Fine. I suppose she's bothered me about it enough already. I guess I'll go for a walk around the hospital, but first let's check in on the other patients here. Vox Pop, ask around and find out what people think. Okay. Visiting woman, old man, youth, on the soul, nurse, doctor, visiting soldier. Visiting woman. His same, you can see his same figurine as nurse. My husband passed away yesterday. It was an awful way to go. I'm sorry to hear that. He had a heart attack when he heard I was dating his brother. Hi there. Oh, Ken, I feel so bad. Don't worry, my darling. I'm sure you would have wanted it this way. I think you would agree, but I shouldn't get involved in private quarrels. The guy died because the wife was dating the brother. Oh my god. Yeah, youth. I'm here for my physical. If I pass, I get to sign up and fight. I can't wait to get those Kitetan cowards. I swear, recruits are getting younger and younger these days. Good for you. I wonder if you'll make it to basic training. Yeah, old man. It sure is a nice day out. Zipangu really is a pensioner's paradise. You think so? The fresh mountain air, the healthy diet, the peaceful atmosphere and respectful militant citizenry. You might have a point there. If only that nurse will let me out of here, and my kids ever visit me, and my brother passes away, and it doesn't work anymore. It sounds like he has it rough. Unut Soldier? We were raiding this compound near Guanyang, a munitions factory. They would set up all these tripwires. Half my unit was blown to all hell. I barely got out there alive. Cost me my legs. War is a dangerous thing. Nurse? Can I help you? No, not particularly. I don't want to ruffle her feathers too much. Visiting soldier? My squad found an abandoned warehouse. Sacks full of rice stacked to the ceiling. That's a lucky break. We thought we'd pilfer a few, but it was a trap. We were surrounded by Miahoists, Zionists, Zomonists. How did you escape? Lucky, another squad came by and we outnumbered the enemy 2-1. I won a medal for that capture. Okay, some people get lucky like that. And doctor. It looks like the surgery went successfully. We removed almost all of the shrapnel. There's still some in there? Don't worry, you haven't damaged anything important. But this really is impressive, managing to get hit in the same spot twice. First Uko, then Zuishizu. Tell me about it. I'll make sure you are discharged before the end of the day. Thank you, doctor. Oh, I'm not a doctor. What? My joke failed? Act like a professional, damn it. Ah yes, one more thing. There was an official looking for you earlier. An official? Yes, a man from the Navy. He wants to talk to you. A Navy official. That's rather ominous. I wonder what he could want. So now we press leave, right? Well, that really wasn't worth it after all. Patients are either total bores or nutcase. Plain and simple, but I guess hospitals do that to people. I decided to go for a stroll. Wrapping myself in my gown, I get up out of bed and wander around. I guess this is nice. It's kind of peaceful here. The corridors are airy and bright, and there's little to fret over. Other patients stroll past in leisurely manner. One old man has a wide grin as a nurse drags him by the arm, probably off to have a sponge bath. I'm put off by how calm it is, but it is a country at peace for the most part. There are no enemy fleets or armies making their way here anytime soon. Zipangu is a world away from the wars on the continent, even if things are calming down. Battles are in north with the Soviets are coming to a close. The Kitentang are on the retreat. Following my injury, I was taken on a frigate back to Zipangu. Most soldiers stay in the field hospitals out in Zaina. I guess that thanks to my two family connections and with my service finished, they didn't mind shipping me home. For some reason I was fast-tracked and brought back early. Maybe they want to parade me around? Brave fighters are often brought back to Zimbabwe to travel the country and help raise cash for the war effort. I guess that's the reason I'm even here, just my luck. Suddenly from ahead, a sweaty looking patient in a gown comes running my way. Out of the way! They are coming for me! They are coming! Who is coming for you? The nurse wants to inject me with something. I hate needles. I hate injections. Several orderlies and nurses chase after him, trying to restrain the loose patient. Get back here, you crazy old fool! Out of my way! Before I can react properly, the old man barging to me and I'm knocked clean to the ground. The hospital staff run past, continuing to give chase as the patient caused havoc down the hallway. Ow! My head begins to throb as a large bruise forms on the back of my skull. This really isn't my day. I hear heavy footsteps beside me and a stern yet kind voice calls out of me. That looked like it hurt. Here, let me give you a hand. Slowly I open my eyes to look at the kind stranger. So maybe it's that guy from the Navy. But I soon realize that it's no stranger at all. It's actually a very familiar face. Yamamoto. What kind of scraps have you been getting yourself into, huh? Uncle Yamamoto? It's my uncle, the Vice Admiral Gojuroku Yamamoto, Commander-in-Chief of the Combo Fleet Zipangu's Imperial Navy. He is really big, weak, and one of the most respected military men in the country. Never let yourself be taken by surprise, or haven't I taught you enough by now? All warfare is based on deception, but I really wasn't expecting that. Taking my uncle's hand, I clambered to my feet with a whiz. All the patients and doctors looked startled, looked completely shocked by the presence of such a high-level official. What are you doing here, uncle? I wasn't expecting any visitors today. I'm actually here on official business. What kind of business? My uncle smirks in that old familiar way. It really makes me feel like a kid again. I meant to be meeting with the illustrious warrant officer Yamato Yamamoto. You won't happen to know him by any chance, would you? Come along, uncle. I'm not a war hero. The sole asset saved the lives of 3 other men under his command and still held out Zuhishizu. It's like some words here are hard to read. The stories about me may have been exaggerated, but I can't deny it, that sounds like me. Yeah, I guess that's me. What happened to my scrappy nephew who dropped out of the academy all those years ago? Look at you now. Enlisted as private and already an officer, the army must be proud to have a war hero like you amongst its ranks. I don't know about that, uncle, and I'm really not a war hero. I just don't believe that. Suddenly, my uncle turned serious for a moment. Do you really mean that, nephew? Well, I just did my duty, taking dangerous assignments in order to survive. It isn't exactly a chivalrous war over there. Bloody, dangerous, and confused fighting. Very few souls clung onto their honor battling that country. I don't deserve to be called a hero, not really. A few moments of silence pass. Then the Vice Admiral breaks into a big smile again. You really are my nephew, aren't you? It's an honor to finally see you again, Warrant Officer Yamamoto. My uncle beams with pride, so this is what it feels like to have a relative who proud of you. Thanks. So, what's the official business about? It's not to do with family farm, is it? No, it's rather more serious matter. My uncle pulls a stern expression and clears his throat. I'm here on the orders of the Prime Minister. You have been given a very special honor. Huh? Prime Minister Abe? You mean the country's leader second only to the imperial family? Yes. As far as I know, your file was pulled recently. You are to report the palace as soon as possible with top-level clearance. The Prime Minister asked after me. Wait a minute. Did you say the palace? Did you hit your head? Edo Imperial Palace in the center of Edo. You know, the home of the Imperial family. The Imperial family. Does that mean what I think it means? some kind of ceremony, a medal, a personal audience. The Vice Admiral goes silent for a moment. Nearby soldiers lean in, try to listen to the excited conversation. Uncle, I can't say for certain, but you are to report to me as soon as you are discharged. I'll be driving you to the palace myself. This top level stuff, you know, the details are classified. I'm not entirely sure I believe it, but why would he joke about something like this? Top level stuff, whoa. I'm going to the Imperial Palace, home of the Emperor himself, Emperor Irahita, Niante Eka. It's rude to refer to the Emperor by their given name. They must be addressed in the proper manner. Thank you for telling me, Uncle. I am most honored to given such an honor. It was a pleasure forming such a fine soldier. You seem to have earned a little reward anyway. I tried to salute, but my arm hurt still, so I bowed deeply and respectfully instead. Anyway, finish your test and report outside the hospital entrance later on. I will collect you from there. My uncle, the Vice Admiral Yamamoto, salutes and walks off, his task completed. Pinch me. I can't believe this is happening. I've been invited to the home of the Emperor. I'll have to get dressed in my best uniform and head out on my way as soon as possible. And where do you think you're going? The nurse from earlier steps out in the corridor, eyeing me suspiciously. Me? I've been invited to the palace for a special meeting, so I have to get ready to leave now. Oh no you don't. I've heard that one before. You can't be discharged until your doctor signs you out. But... No buts, you are a sick patient, and you need your rest. Back into bed, mister. 1 second she tells me to get up and get some fresh air, and now she wants me back into cot. I wish this nurse would just make up her mind already. I'm made to go through 1 or 2 routine tests before I'm finally discharged. It's a relief to leave such a clinical and dull place. I really do hate hospitals. As I step outside onto the street, I find my uncle waiting for me with a black car. Right, are you ready to meet your destiny, Warrant Officer Yamamoto? Ready as I can be. Okay, hop in, let's prep on the way. We both climb in the back seat and slowly make our way through the streets of Edo towards the palace. As the car pulls away, several army trucks full of soldiers begin to follow us along the roads. Won't they ever give me a moment of peace? Uncle, what are the drugs for? It's my personal protection detail, just ignore them. A protection detail from the army? That's strange. Why would a naval vice admiral need army protection? So, how does it feel to be going to the Imperial Palace? Are you nervous? Of course, who would be nervous about something like this? Meeting someone like that? You'll be fine. They are okay once you get to know them. They don't bite anyway. Not often. Not often? Well, if I wasn't nervous before, I am now. Let's talk about something to pass the time. It will calm you down ahead of your meeting. Okay, that sounds like a good plan. What shall we talk about? Talk about geography, talk about Zipagi's history, talk about the war in Zaina. I feel better already. So you can talk or say I feel better already. Let's talk about geography. How about we discuss geography? Remember, I used to help you study all the time when you were younger. Is he trying to test my mental agility or something? Well, I live in the country of Zipangu, the central island nation of the Empire of Zipangu in the Great Eastern Sea. The borders of the empire, the empire stretch far and wide and control numerous small islands as well as countries on the continent. Yes, both the Empire of Zipangu and surrounding nations are part of the continent of Eurasia after all. I remember, I always liked it as a school subject. To the west are the foreign nations that now make up a part of the empire, Zadala and Dardaria. These conquered dominions lie on the border of Republic of Zaina, the nation with which we are currently at war. Journeying further east away from the empire, you meet nothing but ocean and tiny islands for miles and miles. Do you know what's out there, across the Great Eastern Sea? Well, if you keep going, you eventually reach a landmass known as United America. That's right, that cowboy country ruled by capitalist burger eaters. You remember your schooling well then. And what if you were turn west, traveling through Eurasia and beyond? I've heard that if you travel further west, eventually there are mountains and deserts, lands unlike our own. And much further beyond that, the continent of Europa, the home of great western powers like Britannia and France. Not just those two, but also lesser powers like Italia, the Union of Soviet, Iberia, Polix and Germania. The imperialists responsible for conquering and enslaving most of Eurasia, some in this country see them as role models. I don't really know much more, I must not remember it that well after all. I didn't do too well in school, having only traveled with the army outside of Zipangu. I have never visited any other continents. It's important to understand geography. It tells us a lot about resource, terrain, desires, and potential conflicts. Maybe I should brush up with an atlas and a globe. Okay, so Zimbabwe's history. Talking about history always steadies my nerves. You know your Zimbabwe's history, right? Almost is as if on command I begin to recite one of my teacher's old lectures about the country I call home. Zimbabwe, a nation that is thousands of years old, with a complex and unique culture and history. Born out of myths and legends of gods, the island were controlled by several factions over the centuries. Powerful families and warriors fought for control across the archipelago until a war united the country. The nation by then was feudal system, ruled by military dictator in a dressing gown. We are later contact with the outside world. Trade was strict and any foreigners were executed on sight. Development was limited and so our country was mainly based around fishing communities and farming. But all changed in the last century. Zimbabwe evolved from a part medieval early modern society into a new westernized world power. Over half a century ago, foreigners from the distant continents of Europe and America arrived at our shores. Against heavy guns and steam-powered warships, our warriors with their bows and swords didn't stand a chance. Zimbabwe had become weak in its isolation and was being left behind in the world order. We had to embrace these strangers from the new world and learn their ways or face destruction and ruin. We built better ships, modern guns, tanks and cars, our military expanded, fashion changed, politics too, our society changed. Since then, our nation has only ever expanded outwards, by force and diplomacy, seeking to match our imperial foes. Good, you remember your modern history too. A series of conflicts gained Zimbabwe new lands and dominions, and our empire took the globe stage to match others. The army and navy grew in scale, and within a few decades we were the most powerful nation in the East. Our country grew from a closed-off island chain into the empire of Zimbabwe in a few decades. We are now a world power with access to the courts and cabinets of powerful nations throughout the globe. In order to maintain this position, Zimbabwe has exerted control over its neighbors, forcefully taking their lands. Our armies have foothold all across this part of the world. It's the destiny of our empire, or so we are told. It's a destructive and bloody doctrine. Life has changed for many because of our wars, and not always for the better. Yes, history truly is a fascinating subject. It defines who we are now as much as we once were. I wonder how much of history I know it is real and how much is propaganda. Talk about the war in Zaina. I heard from the doctors you have been having nightmares about battling in Zaina. Yeah, but I'm alright in the head, honest. It's just been a difficult few months. That stupid war, how much more will it take from us? Uncle? Yamato, do you mind if I ask you a personal question? What do you think about the war? The Zimbabwe's army's ongoing war in Zaina. What do I think? Well, it's hard to put in words. It's a war for conquest. An invasion initiated by the militant leaders in the Zimbabwe's army, desperate for battle and glory. It's a bloody situation. Resistance has been fierce from the beginning, and it doesn't seem that victory is likely. Civilians are being slaughtered, the army is struggling to keep control. It's a nightmare, frankly. There, I've said it. The period that made me target amongst my own ranks. I agree. You do? Yes. It's always been a mad militarist exploit by the army. We should bring the war in Zaire to a swift conclusion. Yeah, but what can we do? Are you aware there is a power struggle in Zimbabwe's government between the navy and the army factions? I've heard a little about it, yeah. The navy always goes on about how the army is full of right-wing nutcase who want to take over the world. And in the army, you will always find officers who thought the Navy were lapdogs of the Americans and want another coup. Both sides want to engage in the opposite kinds of foreign diplomacy and military defense. The army, as you know, wants to continue the fight in Oryasia, battling in Zaina, a continuation of the same mad war. They also want a swift victory against the Union of Soviet in the northern border wars of Dardaria. The Union of Soviet is another country in Europe and northern Oryasia, controlled by a Zionist regime. For several months, Zimbabwe's forces in northern Dardaria have been engaged in a border war with Soviet forces. It's a strategy known as Northern Strike. Too many here in the homeland, the Soviets are the enemy now too. The Navy wants peace with our immediate neighbors in Oryasia, Zaina, Mongoliana and the Union of Soviet. Not only that, but continue neutrality with the great Western powers, Britain and United America. It's known as Southern Strike, heading out of sea to secure petroleum and rubber and following a more neutral path. It will mean an end to the war in Zaina and instead control the source of raw materials in the Great Eastern Sea. I guess it's a long-term plan, though it still means invading and taking colonies from our enemies. We need to bide our time. There is no point in becoming enemies with large foreign powers yet. We can't afford to provoke them, and that's why I need you, Yamato. What was that? Nothing. You'll find out soon enough anyway. Ah, so it's something around that plan that he has, but he doesn't want to tell us yet. That's why he was whispering to us. So, have you calmed down at all? Surprisingly, yes. I can't even remember why I was so nervous in the first place. Well, because we are on our way to the Imperial Palace. What? Of course. What am I wasting my time thinking about? I'm going to meet the Emperor. That's why I should be focused on. The Emperor. I'm going to be meeting with him myself, the ruler of the Empire, every power on earth. I really can't believe it. I will be in the presence of a Butch mind-reading demigod, the Emperor. I think I'm going to be sick. Soon enough we arrive at the home of the royal family, the illustrious Edo Imperial Palace. I slap myself awake and we both step out of the car. Whoa, I can't believe it. Standing in the ground of the palace, I'm astounded by the beauty of the surroundings. Traditional buildings poke out from the treetops, nestled amongst the pristine rock gardens and plants. The high-stone foundations, remnants of the former castle here, stands tall and imposing. A clear river flows through the grounds, with koi fish swimming beneath the glistening surface. An official greets us at the car as I stare up at the palace on the hill. Warrant Officer Yamamoto, is it? Yeah, that's me. Very good, sir. Please follow me this way, if you will. The uptight man walks up a flight of steps, through the large gates, and into a building fronting the main palace. Come on, uncle, let's go. Not for me, nephew. I'll catch up with you later. I have some errands to run first. It seems I'm doing this on my own. Well, so much for the family reunion. Just be honest and straightforward. Good luck, nephew. Make your father proud. I'm counting on you. Thanks, uncle, for everything. We both salute on one another, and I make my way into the building after the official. As we walk through many corridors and smaller buildings, I'm eventually led into a grand entrance hall. Whoa, Edo Imperial Palace, I'm actually here. I look around at the vast entrance hall. Ornate golden carvings line the high vaulted ceiling above. Portraits hang on the pristine pink walls, portraying the imperial family and the history of our nation. Servants wait patiently in front of the double doors, dressed in tailcoats and white gloves. A grand staircase sits ahead, probably leading up to some kind of inner chamber or throne room. It's all very Western, almost like a palace out of a foreign fairy tale. The Edo Imperial Palace was constructed sometime after the Imperial Restoration, decades ago. Outwardly, the palace has a Zempagis aesthetic, but the insides are furnished in a foreign style. Chandeliers, carpeting, marble pillars, strange chairs and tables. It's all rather impressive. The weady looking official turns to me. Welcome to Edu Imperial Palace, sir. We have been waiting for this moment for at least a few hours. You have? Yes, it's not every day that something like this happens. I mean, a man of your background. My background? It must be because of the military history. I started out as a common soldier, so they don't expect someone to rise the way I did. Why would someone from such a low military standing, even with strong family connection, and ever enter the palace? It is most peculiar, but things like this happen, I suppose. It can't be helped. Now, if you please wait here, sir, I'll check if the Imperial Majesty and the delegation are ready to see you. So, I'm actually going to be meeting them. I mean, thank you very much for the honor. I give a deep and humble bow. The official bows gently in return, then traverse the staircase and disappear behind a double door. I can't wait to see the inside the throne room, to think it's where the Emperor greets his guests. Normally you will expect to be shown into the court and you will already be waiting and seated. After that, I think you have to bow and then slowly approach, or is it approach and then bow? I know it's a special bow, a 70-degree bow used to show extreme reverence. I forgot to bring a protractor with me, so out of character for a military strategist. I thought maybe the official will also run me through the proper procedure. I guess he forgot. What should I do? I don't want to look the Empire in the eye at the wrong moment or anything. Maybe I should ask someone. Ask around for quickly, just bluff your way through it all. Now ask around. I approach a servant carrying a tray full of empty glass. Excuse me, can you help me at all? I'm a little concerned about procedure. Leave me alone, I'm working. I guess he's too busy to help me. Looking about nervously, I find another servant who is deep in conversation with a mate. I don't know, they are always demanding snack and sneaking chocolates. But we have to keep them looking slim and healthy. It's for the good of the Empire of Zipangu. They appear out of nowhere. I was wondering where they were keeping them hidden. That's what you worry about? And I'm here wondering where I can find a husband. Nobody finds maid attractive. I'm doomed to never marry. Maybe she is before her time? At last the servant noticed me dawdling there. Can I help you, sir? Yes, thank you. Will you happen to know the protocol for a private meeting with the Imperial Majesty? You are being serious. I'm afraid not, sir. You have to ask a palace official. I only really stand here all day, and I never seen them go through this particular door. It sounds like a bit of a pointless job. Shh, not so loud. Do you have any idea how much this job pays? I think he's in this for the wrong reasons. Moving on to someone else, I try to try a fellow soldier nearby. I approach the guard standing watch. How goes it? What are you guarding? Nothing particular. I'm security. I hired to guard this general area in case of any danger. Anything exciting? Well, there have been rumors of a threat to the royal family's lives. We believe a Zomanist group is behind it. Really? There are always sensational stories in the newspapers about Zomanist groups and nationalists. Some rumor of a bomb threat or plans to start a riot or the army trying to take over again. Usually they are just students arrested for pamphleting or getting drunk in public. I don't think it will go so far as to put the royal family in danger. Observing the guard closely, it looks like he hasn't slept in a week. It's a tough duty, but someone got to do it. He titters as he says that, his eyes opening and shutting quite a bit. Keep up the good work, soldier. I guess I will leave him to do his job. I'll just wait until the official comes back and see what he does. Very quickly the conversation in the room hushed as the door at the top of the staircase opened wide. Like, the artwork of the game is good, but like the text is a little bit different from other visual novels. Like, you have all these right in here not equal to other visual novels, so it confused me a little bit. It's like I'm always watching to this side. Out of the throne room steps a spiritually looking girl, and the servants all around stand to attention before bowing low. Maids either side wait patiently and look on, awe at this rather fetching woman. And certain words like hard to read. Like Jesus. Dressed in a ceremonial kimono, she stands at the head of the steps and peers down at me with a calm smile. It called beauty. So, this is the daring warrior Yamamoto that I've heard so much. A rather beautiful youth, the girl gives off an aura of authority. The silky black hair, iron cut fringe with side bangs, is tied at the left in a long ponytail. Her outfit makes use of royal reds, pinks, and purples, and is utterly a very feminine dress. The kimono, whilst a little simple at first glance, is finely decorated with sakura petal imprints. I must say, you aren't quite what we were expecting. I look up into the girl's moist eyes, a pair of clear, dark, and determined iris stare straight back. It's a strength of sorts, a power of femininity. Spreading her arms in greeting, the girl gives a gentle head bow. Greetings, all brave officer Yamamoto. I hope you will forgive Zionji's absence today. She must be referred to Princess Zionshi Kimoshi, a royal advisor and elder stateswoman. I'm afraid Fuasa is also unavailable, as well as Byakutab, so it's just me and my servants today. Fuasa and Byakutab are important imperial ministers. Both are advised to the emperor. As for this girl, perhaps she is a priestess who will run me through procedures, or possibly an undersecretary to the emperor himself, or some other member of the household. Putting on my best behavior, I smile and bow gently myself. Ho, a little bow before one such as myself. I admire your courage, I really do. She says this all rather jokingly, smiling the whole while through. Although we do live in a different time, let's do without the kowtow for now. What do you say? I smile a little at the rhyme, but remain silent, waiting for her cue. You certainly are a quiet man. Did you show such courage in Zaina, I wonder? Although I imagine it takes a different sort of courage to be impertinent. Impertinent? Is this girl mocking me? What are you talking about? The servants surround me, all gasping shock at my question. The girl seems unmoved and maintains her calm demeanor. Curt words make for a bold first impression. You are a soldier first and a gentleman second, I take it? Why are you talking to me like this? I'm from a former client myself, More gas filled the air. One man looks practically ready to faint. Sorry to be rude, but I really just want to meet the emperor. There's no need to keep making remarks at my expense. The room goes silent. The guards slowly turn towards me, their hands reaching for their sidearms. However, one look from the girl and they withdraw. It seems there's been some confusion here. You are telling me, first the procedure thing, now this. I imagine you are rather nervous about meeting Imperial royalty for the first time. Royalty? What do you mean? Is she a princess of some kind? Don't tell me I just insulted a member of the royal family. I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't realize I was talking to a relative of Niante Eika. Honestly, I make a very low bow and hang my head. I'm surprised she hasn't had me beheaded yet. Being rude to a member of the royal family is akin to treason. A relative? I think we are still a little confused. Raise your heads. I do so and look into the girl's eyes. No, wait, I'm not meant to do that either. Let me clarify, I'm no lower family member or a courtesan or even a princess. My apologies. I am Niante Keika, the Empress Irahita herself. Niante? That's right, Empress Yarahita, if you like, but people call me Niante for short. Huh? Empress? So I was just insulting Niante, the Empress, this entire time? Wait, what I have done? I'm sorry, Niante Eka. I'm so sorry, please forgive me, I'm just a recruit, I didn't know what I was doing. I go into a low bow, my forehead practically touching my toes. The Emperor is an Empress. The Emperor is an Empress? What's going on here? I spent all this time, all my life, thinking that our royal leader was a Butchman. But what about the anthem I learned in school and the oaths and the pledge? Did I learn it all wrong? Why was I just mishearing it all the time? I suppose Niate can refer to either a man or a woman. It's not too far-fetched, it is the modern era after all. Then the Empress is much like Empress Pingu of Antiquity. I'm surprised you didn't know. A bit of faux pas on your part. No, forgive me, it's just that I didn't know you were a woman. I found as I tried to say something smart, one wrong word more and I could be in serious trouble. Please forgive me my ignorance, most honorable Niate Eka. I didn't know what you look like. Raise your head. Slowly I came out of my bowl again. And it's understandable. I spent most of my life behind closed doors. I'm not a very photogenic person. After all, why should someone from your social standing know what I look like? I will always assume that the emperor refused photography and never liked to go out in public. I guess I don't really read the newspapers much, so I won't know even if there were pictures. I've seen a photograph of an imperial horse named White Snow, but the empress. The high-pitched voice does make more sense now that I think about it. But I'm certain I'm not the only one though. Out in the countryside, will people know a thing like this? If she's only referred to as genderless Niate, then how many people actually know we have a female ruler? Forgive me, Niate Eka, I'm extremely sorry, I didn't know. Now that this misunderstanding has been cleared up, it's time to discuss why you were called here. Niate opens up a parasol and begins to twirl it above her head. Then she slowly descends the staircase. Coming towards me, I realize the girl is slightly shorter than I am, reaching to about chest height. I soon find myself staring down into those dark eyes of hers. I'm pretty sure I meant to avoid eye contact. It's probably too late by this point. You seem overwhelmed? Yes, Niate Eika, it's just the palace is quite impressive. Since the Imperial Restoration, the place is decorated in a Western sense. I noticed. Due to the large number of diplomats arriving from Europe during the Restoration, it seemed right to appeal to their tastes. The Empress quickly flicks a hand gesture at the servants, possibly indicating to leave. The maids in the room bow and shut the door behind them, leaving me alone with Niate. Now, we should discuss why it is I've called you here today. I assume I was to be awarded a medal of some kind for my service. However, the tone of this meeting seems more serious. I received a word several days ago of your achievements in battle fighting in Zaina, decorated at Zenga, wounded in Uko fighting the Kiteg tank. You have quite an impressive resume. Thank you, Niate Heka. It's an honor to hear your praise. You praise me. It feels surreal to be praised by her. She certainly carries authority anyway. With a hand on her hip and the parasol casually resting on her shoulder, the girl seems used to walking in a man's shoes. She holds out her hand. I simply look on in confusion. Well, are you a pirate or something? Don't repeat, people, it's a rude habit. Sorry. I'm offering you my hand, now take it. Offering me her hand? As in marriage? Is this girl proposing to me in the strangest circumstances? A proposal? Certainly not. I mean, we just met after all, unless she wants me to be a consort. Polygamy is pretty common among the royal family. She's just a beauty. She probably has a harem of hot guys. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't understand. Ignoring me, Niate takes a hold of my hand. Turning it over, she very gently brushes her fingers over the skin. She keeps an attentive gaze the entire time as she traces along the lines on my palm. Your hands feel very coarse and tall. You must have battled hard for the Empire. Mainly for my brothers in arms. Huh? Not for your Empire or your Empress? Apologies, but I fought with the best, your Imperial Majesty. I am only here today because of my fellow soldiers. I fought for them primarily. When honor is lost in battle, the only hope we have left is comradeship. My, I'm certain that's true. I appreciate the honesty anyway. Releasing my hand, she smiles again before letting the expression fall away. Anyway, you probably want to know why you have been summoned. The Empress motions to the doorway and calls out. You can come in now. Gojoroku, it's time. Gojoroku? Does she mean a tall dark figure enters the room through a pair of heavy double doors? Niate, Your Majesty. Hello again, nephew. Uncle Yamamoto? The familiar form of my uncle makes another unexpected appearance for the second time today. Bowing politely, the Vice Admiral makes his way over towards us. Well, I've made up my mind. And he's a good lad, isn't it? Yes, I've always been a great judge of character, and he's certainly impressive, if not a little unobservant. Can you please not talk about me in front of my face like that? Was this some kind of test or something? Anyway, what's this all about? Uncle, what are you doing here too? I wasn't lying when I said this was a top-level meeting, nephew. The truth is, Warrant Officer Yamato, we need your help. Huh? Are they joking? The Empress and my uncle need my help? But I'm just a soldier. Tell us, what do you know about Germania? Germania? As in the country with the sausage and Lederhosen? Yes, Germania, officially known as the Empire of Germania, is a central nation in the continent of Europa. It's a vast dictatorship controlled by a powerful and persuasive individual known as Adolfia Itora. Adolfia Itora, militaristic, deceptive and heading towards a war with other major world powers. At least that's according to some politically engaged soldiers I knew in Zaina. Have heard of her, but I'm not as up to date on politics as I should be. During the last Great War, Germania was our enemy. Not long ago, they were supporters of the Zaina regime. They provided General Zajceks and the rebels in Zaina with weapons, uniforms and training. That explains the rounded helmets and sleek weapons. I wonder how the Zainists got their hands on them. So they are our enemies? The Empress and my uncle both pull uncomfortable expressions. In my last government, the pro-army ministers tried to pivot towards friendly relations with Germania. It seems that the radical army faction in Zimpangu and their supporters are keen on a close alliance with Itora. But why? Didn't she supply Zanis with weapons? Germania is supposedly anti-Zomonist, especially the dictator Itora. She hates Zomonism. So, an alliance with Germany might prove useful in a war against the Union of Soviet. Of course, the overzealous army wants to prolong the war in Zaina and expand north into the Union of Soviet after all. The pro-army government signed a lot of agreements and pacts trying to get close to Adolfia Itora. Finally, with the signing of the anti-Zominter Pact, we enter into better relations with the Axel powers. Hold on a minute, Axel powers? Anti-Zominter Pact? Hang on, it's going to get technical. Yeah, it's like kind of words like Jesus Christ. What words are these? I understand it's a satire and parody, but Jesus Christ, to read that... I like the flags. Making a lot of hand gestures, my uncle desperately tries to explain the complicated global situation. There we go. The Axel Alliance is a group of fascist countries in Europa, primarily composed of Germany and Vitalia. And the Anti-Zominter Pact is an anti-Zominist and anti-Soviet, anti-Maoist pact we signed, along with those nations. That is showing here. Jesus Christ. So the fascist Axel allies are on bad terms with the Union Soviet, like us? Correct. The Axel also exists in opposition to the alliance powers of Britannia and France, supported by United America. That's a lot to process in a few sentences. Yeah, like what the fuck? Now we are on the friend terms with Germania, both politically and economically. At least that's the theory. Theory? What do you mean, Niate Eika? The Empress sighs and seems to look past me into the middle distance. It turns out Adolfia Itora isn't as anti-Zomonist as we first thought. It was announced a few days ago that Germany has signed a non-assault pact with the Union of Soviet. The agreement is basically a truce or a temporary alliance between Adolfia Hitler and Josefina Stalin, that's the Zionist dictator of the Union of Soviet, the Zionist superpower. Britain and France are healing in shock. Politics is left out in the cold, and United America is pretty upset too. The non-assault pact has completely changed the balance of world power, particularly in Europe. It's a slap in the face for us too. Adolfia Hitler has really ticked me off this time, stuck up little brat. This pact has hurt our honor, and Zimbabwe looks stupid now. We have completely lost face over this pro-Zionist betrayal. The Empress grumbles under her breath over the politics of the situation. I'm totally disillusioned with Europa. Who do these Germanians think they are, after we were so nice to them too? I'm done with them. I told Prime Minister Abe to change up our foreign policy in the future. So it's completely soured Zimbabwe's foreign relations. Then we are not going to seek an alliance? Despite this, there are still pro-army force in the government who think a full alliance with Germany is the right way to go. Right-wing zealots are fascists. They are simply mad militarists, intent on waging endless wars in Eurasia. Huh? I'm sure they are not all zealots. The ultranationalist right have taken control of the Zimbabwe's army and led this country to the brink of disaster. My uncle showed a passionate honesty I've never seen before. He's really speaking his mind for us. The war in Zaire is a disgrace. It was dumb, illegal expansion in the first place, and it's made us look like fools. So this is why my uncle was so concerned about my record. Was he sounding me out to see what my loyalties were? I'm surprised he feels he can speak so openly with the royal family like this too. Saying things like that is why there are threats on your life. Uncle, is that true? You have been receiving death threats from the army? Yeah, we had no choice but to promote him to commander-in-chief of the combo fleet just to get him out of the country. That explains the personal protection detail too. Those army trucks full of soldiers. Is he being watched by the military? Like I was saying, some in the army want to ally with Germany regardless of the recent non-assault pacts. Others like Gojo Roku detest the idea of German alliance, worry that it might start a war with Britain or France. And inevitably, though they are neutral, it might draw United America since they are friendly towards the alliance. The army's desire for friendship with Germany will push us into a war we simply cannot win. Our navy isn't ready for it. A war with Britannia and United America could be the end of Zimbabwe's empire, or so I hear. And that's why your life is under threat. Prime Minister Abe is of the same mindset. He wants neutrality in Europe and an end to the war in Zaire. Even Zimbabwe's Prime Minister wants to end the war. And Nyate Eka, Your Highness, what do you think? I officially have no opinion. I meant to be above the fray of politics, a figurehead. The Empress makes air quotes as she says that. But right now I see no reason to ally with someone dishonorable like Adolfia Hitler, not after she was so rude and made us look like a total losers. Screw that dumb dictator, so the army and the navy can fight it out. So she doesn't like to say it out loud, but you could see that while she was whispering to us, say that she doesn't want to be friends with Germany. It's easy to understand. So she does get involved in politics after all. I see, I didn't know any of that. You really should learn to read newspapers and keep up with current affairs. I know. Oh, are you being flippant with me? That's treasonous behavior, you know? Maybe I should punish you. That's not what I meant. Forgive me, Niaite Eika. I spluttered and panicked as I tried to defend myself. It's just that, well, you know. Dear Kami-sama, please don't let me get my head cut off today. You are cute when you are flustered. Huh? Cute? That face you pull more than makes up for it. You are forgiven. She's teasing me. Niate is actually teasing me. This situation isn't good for my heart. Relax, try not to injure yourself. Yes, your majesty. My uncle looks on nervously. I'm guessing he's received a similar teasing from the empress before. Well, I think I get it now. But there's one thing I don't understand. Why can't you both just do something? You have the prime minister and the empress both agreeing on something. Sure, that's it. The two most powerful individuals in Zimbabwe can put a stop to the matter. No alliance with Germania and end to the war. It doesn't work like that. Not in this country anyway. What? Really? You can't just take charge? Idiot. I meant to be figurehead, remember? I'm only allowed to frown or nod. That's about it. I don't know how true that is though. Prime Minister Abe will try his hardest to push through his policies, but much of the government is weak and divided. And the army is very powerful. Even if they were commanded to retreat, they would simply dig in and fight on, just like they have done 1,000 times before. We need to undermine the army's influence across the empire little by little until they lose control. And preventing an alliance with Germany is one way to achieve this? My, maybe you are not so slow after all. The truth is, we need some kind of insurance policy. We need to control the situation before anything else happens. Then this meeting is some kind of conspiracy between my uncle and the empress? Even if I have no official power, I'm happy to let Gojuruko and Abe do things like this. And this is a chance for the empress to go over the heads of the army, to give the navy the upper hand. Let me only say, because it was already a lot that we talk. Like, for now the game has a lot of talking. I understand it's the beginning, but Jesus. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, well, I have no official involvement. So, to cut a long story short, why I'm here, what is this conspiracy, the plan, this mission? Uncle Yamamoto pulls out a file and starts flicking through it. We are in a lucky position. A very unique opportunity has presented itself. That's why we need you. It seems your record has attracted the attention of the Germanian ambassadors, Eugene Ott. Germanian ambassador, you mean a foreign military attaché here in Edo? Yes, it seems Germany has been looking for an adept commander to advise on some military issues. Only last week a telegram was sent to my desk asking that we seek out our best and our brightest. And well, you were commanded, so I want to see for myself what the fuss was about. I'm sorry, I'm still confused. Why would the German ambassador be requesting a Zipanguese soldier to advise? When it comes to military matters, sure the Germanians don't need any outside help? I'm afraid we don't really know why. Maybe nobody suitable was available? Anyway, this strange part. The dictator Dorothea Itora mentioned your name personally. Huh? Seriously? A letter was sent through Ambassador Ott here in Endu, expressing her desire to meet you. The dictator of Germany wants to meet me? Probably all those rumors about the handsome Zimbabwe's hero battling Zaina. My uncle says that and gives me a knowing wink. They probably think that having an outside advising might give them a fresh perspective. So that's why I'm here now. Why would the dictator of Germany ask for someone like me? I'm just a normal soldier after all. I'm afraid I don't know that much. Believe me, I was surprised myself to hear of you. Niate bites her lip in frustration. But Gojuroku convinced me to give you a shot and have you brought home from the battlefield. And that's why I was brought home earlier too. But compared to other souls, I'm a small fry. There are a few exaggerated rumors about my victories, but nothing more. But you see, nephew, this is that why you are perfect for our plan. Huh? Your plan? Consider it outsourcing. You have been transferred to a high division of the Germanian military. What? Transferred? You mean as part of military attaché? No, it's a little more complex than that. You'll be operating with the highest echelons of General Staff. Like, hard names that. The General Staff, that's probably the General Staff of the Germanian military. It's kind of like an exchange program. You'll be an exchange soldier working under the dictator herself. But why me? I whispered those words, but it seems to be futile. This situation has caught me completely off guard. Don't worry, you are not being abandoned or simply transferred over. There is actually a catch. What kind of catch? You are going to spy for us. Spy? Like espionage? A secret agent or a ninja? There's no way. It's funny, for a moment there, it sounded like you say I was going to be spying on the dictator of Germania. Exactly. You are our insurance policy. This can be our way of controlling foreign relations in Germania. Seriously? You want me to be a spy? This way you can also use you to get back to Adolfia Itora for showing us up like that. This woman really doesn't let things go. We need someone we can trust inside of Germany's inner circle. You can be our man in Alta Berlin. What about the embassy? Don't you have people already in place? Our embassy in Berlin is part of the pro-army faction and they refuse to obey orders or report accurately, of course. Not to mention our current ambassador Oshima is pretty much Adolfia Itora's lapdog. We desperately need to take control and restore Zimbabwe's honor. We need you to do this for us, Warrant Officer Yamato. We want you to spy on Adolfia Itora and her goons, discover what their intentions are and send back information. Hang on, what if I'm caught or get exposed? I don't know anything about being a spy. I'm sure you pick it up in no time. Most countries hang spies when they are discovered. This is crazy, I can't do something like this. You'll go to Alta Berlin working on as advisor for the German High Command and we'll get some duns in return. We need to control the situation from beginning to end, and when time's right, we'll give you our final orders. What do you mean by that? Give me my final orders. Means that is to kill, right? My uncle and the Empress exchange guns. It's a worst case scenario, but if required, we need a dedicated soldier to do what's best for Zimbabwe's honor. What are you saying? An experienced recruit from the ranks of the army who fights hard, a hero who doesn't want to be recognized as such. Someone who knows war isn't a game, but still hopes to fight with honor and decency. Your court needs you, lad. The navy needs you. Your empress needs you. I need you. We all do. This is all very confusing, but this is a top secret, so discretion must be important. I don't know what to think anymore. Think about this. Just remember all those soldiers still on the front lines, Yamato. Your compatriots, your countrymen still fighting and dying, bogged down in a pointless quagmire of a war. That's right, if I help my uncle damage the reputation of the army faction with useful intel, it could really help my comrades. It might just end the war in China and prevent a war with Unite America and Britannia. But spying, espionage, I don't know anything about fighting a war like that. This is an opportunity we can't pass up. I'm sorry nephew, but if it can save this country from the ultranationalists, it has to be done. My uncle has a determined glint in his eyes. He really believes in this mission. Desperately, I turned to the Empress for help. Please, Your Highness, I need you to consider. I don't know how to spy. I'm a good soldier, but I'm not a spy. Sorry, the details have already all been arranged. You will ship out to Europa in the morning. The fact is the Germans seem to like you and we are going to take advantage of that. So I don't get a say in this at all. Oh, would you turn down a personal request from the Empress herself? Unable to argue back, I have to simply accept my fate. Good, although if anyone asks, I didn't request anything. I'm only meant to be a figurehead. It's all just a spectator sport war, isn't it? Thank you, Yamato, my boy. Your country will owe you a great debt of service. So, just to confirm. Jeez, do you really need it spelled out so much? My hands are tied on this one. There's nothing that can be done. Please, for my sake. What a selfish man. You know that the Empress isn't meant to involve herself in decision making? Very well. By order of imperial decree, we hereby discharge this man before us from his regular duty. To preserve the honor of the empire, Officer Yamato of the Dai, Zimpangu, Tai Koko, Hakugen will be transported to Europa. Taking into account the recent troubles between the empires of Zimpangu and Germania. As for this mode, you are Commander Yamato, exchange soldier and advice to the Fubar Adorifia Itora of Germania. Continue to work with respect and spy on Germanians for your uncle and your country. Yes, I understand now, uncle. I'll do as you command. I bow my head and remain like that for a few moments. You got that? The way she speaks and demands things, she really is an empress. Yes, Niante Eike, well, my uncle wants me to spy on the Germanians. Though I really have no experience on spycraft or duplicity in this way, this is going to be a dangerous and tricky assignment. Very good, that will be all. Your country owes you great debt, nephew. I hold my bow, and with that, my summons is at an end. Following our meeting, the servant re-emerged and led me out of the palace to my taxi. As we walked through the pristine halls, I soaked in the last of this strange occasion. Meanwhile, in Alberlin, Germania, in the office of the Imperiumstag, the Fubar meets with her advisors. So one is called Joe Bells. My Fubar, we have just received a telegram from the embassy in Edo, Zimpangu. The exchange program is going ahead. Yamamoto has agreed to take the job. Itora. So he's far on his way. Gori, arrange a private plane for his journey. Make sure he lands in Alt Berlin safety. Once he arrives, guide his procession so he doesn't see anything he shouldn't. Tidy up the streets too. This character is Goring. Yes, dear leader. Joe Bells, arrange a victory rally to celebrate Commander Yamato's arrival. Yes, dear leader. Where's Dunitz? I heard all three of you to meet here. I think she's still asleep. At this hour? Someone go and force her out of bed. We have a lot to prepare and very little time to do it in. The others go and attend to their duties, leaving the dictator alone with her thoughts. Commander Yamamoto, the hero of Shenzhenga, I've been waiting for you. And so the leaders of Germany get ready for their new advisor to arrive. But they don't know that we are to spy. How to outplay someone. After our secret meeting with the Empress, my uncle gave me a full briefing on the situation. My mission will involve going deep undercover and gathering enough information to confirm Germany's intentions. Details of location, times, individual I should make contact with, there's a lot to learn. Most of all, my uncle warned me to be careful and to keep my wits about me. Germany is a fascist dictatorship with an unstable economy and fanatical, terrorized population. If I'm discovered or revealed to be a spy by the leadership, I'll be made to disappear. It's not a pleasant thought, but this is my mission, and I'm used to danger by now. My uncle even gave me the secret envelope to open only in case of an emergency. Whoa! I'm not sure what that emergency might be, but I'll make sure to keep it safe. Along with that, I have a code name for my mission, Green Pheasant. I'm the Green Pheasant, a Zimpangese spy. It sounds kind of cool, really. So we have a secret envelope that we should open in case of emergency, like if someone discovers that we are a spy, and we have the code name that every spy has. Okay. Later that day, I returned to the barracks to pack my belongings. However, since I'll be in hospital until this morning, I already had a full suitcase ready to go. With nothing to do with the rest of the afternoon, I decided to go wandering around the capital. I've been to inns, bars, market stalls, food fairs, shrines, banks, stations, pachinko parlors, school festivals. I want to breathe in the last of the Orient air before I arrive in a new continent. The world I know, I may not see it again in my lifetime. I haven't even left yet, but a part of me is already homesick for my country. If the street wasn't so dirty, I'll get down on my knees and kiss the ground. Perhaps I should get on a tram out of the countryside and do it there. Still, I always feel I don't know that much about the outside world. My education hasn't really prepared me for this. I've been living honestly all my life on military career path. I have never actually met a foreign game from another country. Europe and America are just abstract terms in my mind, fantasy lands with fantasy people. It's strange. In some way I've always wanted to travel, but I guess I never had the opportunity. Now is my chance to really see the world and make a difference too. While I pondered these useless thoughts, I noticed the clapping sound of boots on dirt. A familiar soul comes running up to me. It's one of my division's corporals, or at least one of my former juniors. I'm no longer commander for his unit, so I suppose I can say I'm his leader. For what I remember, he's a bit of a useless man, and I always had to pay attention to him. Our unit seemed to operate a lot like high school sports team. The seniors would look after their juniors and work hard together. We had a pretty dumb relationship that way. Boss man, is it true what the men have been saying? Are you really shipping out to Europa tomorrow? I'm afraid it's true, and please don't call me boss man. Unfortunately, it means the juniors have a habit of relying on their seniors most of the time. Despite being younger than most of these men, I still get asked for advice with basic things. Cleaning triggers, loading and unloading, target practice. The soul in front of me looks aside. Dirty boots, an untucked shirt, the top buttons of his uniform undone. With snot dribbling down his lips, he seems to heave as he breathes in and out. Damn it, how could they do this to you? You are one of the greatest leaders this army has ever had. I don't know about that, I'm just a good fighter, that's all. It's a punishment, it must be. But don't worry, boss man, we are gonna fight for you. Please, don't. It's more of a diplomatic move than anything else. It's to help the Empress and the Empire. Empress? What Empress? Never mind. Yeah, because nobody knows that it's the Empress. I don't think people will believe me if I told them their country was run by a woman. It was a personal request from the palace. Whoa, you mean our Empress? You actually met the Empress of Zimpangu? Niante? That Empress? You mean you know about her? That's amazing. I never know anyone that actually met her. I mean, the guys have pictures up in the barracks. Totes amaze balls. You got to meet such a stunning hottie. Hang on, you are telling me you knew that the Emperor was actually an Empress? What are you talking about, boss man? What the hot-blooded Zimpagese man doesn't know the Empress? She's one of the most beautiful and graceful public leaders this country has ever known. On second thoughts, perhaps I'm the unobservant one. I should start listening to the radio. I will die for a girl like that. One that takes care of the business while I stay at home under the kotatsu. Huh? What nonsense are you saying now? Oh well, once I finish in the army, it's my aspiration to become a husband. Looking after the kids and being lazy, it's my dream. You should have higher aspirations than that. I really did fail you. Out of nowhere, my former junior begins to tear up. Placing his hand on my shoulder, he squeezes tight and begins to blubber. Ow! Hey, that's my wounded shoulder. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Boss man, I will never forget you. You were the best command I ever had. I believe in you. You are exaggerating. I'm sorry. What was your name again? I've completely forgotten. Takeshi, sir. Is that all? That's my full name. Well, anyway, thank you for your kind words, Takeshi. I'll round up the men and we'll throw you a big party. We are not gonna let the boss man leave Zimpangu sober. Now wait a minute, I'm not sure that's... But before I can say anything more, Takeshi has run off to organize a living party. Honestly, what an unreliable junior. I suppose I won't have much time left to wander. I guess I should draft some letters home. I'll let my relatives know I won't be coming back to marry the neighbor girl. Right now, growing rice in the countryside for the rest of my life doesn't sound like a bad option. On the other hand, I'll still be fighting, albeit in foreign land where I can't speak the language. I'll be spying on one of the most mysterious leaders in the world. Something like that doesn't happen every day. I should consider this some kind of opportunity, a very dangerous one. Right, here goes nothing. I try to cheer myself up as I go to buy stationery. Meanwhile, just around the corner outside the German embassy. A shifty-looking character speaks quietly into the public payphone, keeping his voice low as he mutters. Zorge. Da, tak, Tosho, comrade. I confirm it with Ambassador Ott as well. Zorch, a spy for the Soviet government, keeps his handlers up to date on the latest information from Edu. No, the Germans don't suspect a thing. I've infiltrated the embassy with total ease. Strange girl. Whoa, I see. And about this exchange program, do you have a name yet? Da, comrade. The new commander name is Yamamoto, a regular soldier. Da, that is correct. The Soviets know about the exchange program. What else do they know about the situation? I've just watched him running errands. He doesn't seem special in any way, kind of bland actually. I wonder what the Fubar is doing, hiring a Zimpangese butler. I'm not certain, though. I don't think he's a butler exactly. Possible a spy, though no confirmation yet. Okay, I don't understand that. Are you still there, comrade? Hello? For the moment, continue as you are. We'll handle the rest from our ends. With that, the handler hangs up the phone and the long-distance connection is lost. Did I say something strange? No, I'm sure it's all fine. The Soviet spy, still keeping his wits about him, slowly makes his way back inside the embassy building. That night I drank my own weight in sack and beer. I'm not really certain what happened, but I have a recollection of Takeshi crying on my shoulder. For that I blacked out. But okay, later that week over German airspace. So that guy has suspicions on us that we are a spy, but he doesn't know because we are like an errand boy. Who is that strange girl? We don't know because it doesn't say the name. She wants more information about us. Okay. Because she wants to know why that Fubar wanted us to be the advisor. Next morning I ship out from Zimpangu bound for my secret mission in Europa. Traveling by ferry across to Zaina, I boarded a plane at Shenzhen. From there, the flight passed out of Zaina over the mountains and into the earthland of Eurasia. We crossed over borders of new lands and territories I've never seen before. Grasslands and forests and hills and valleys and deserts. New regions with strange customers and simple locals, a world I've never known and probably never will get to know. After stopping over in arid nation to refuel, the plane eventually took off again. A few stops later we enter Europa airspace. It's pretty much been non-stop travel. I've tried to sleep through most of the journey after that night's activities, the night before departure. I'm not much of a trick as it happens. Waking up the next morning with a pounding headache and dry mouth was not a pleasant experience. The debugging ceremony in the barracks was an ordeal as well. Awakening from a particular long nap, I've been informed we are flying over Germany and will land within the hour. Checking a map I brought along, I once again checked the geography of this new continent. Germania, the central nation of Europa. This map really isn't any good. It doesn't show borders or terrain or names or anything significant other than outlines. I should have opted for a more detailed version, though I didn't have much time to prepare for this trip. Maybe I should just look out of the window instead. Peering through the thin pane of glass to my left, I see luscious green woodland for miles around. Arable countryside eventually gives away to small hamlets and towns paved in cobblestones. Narrow winding streets and poky buildings give the country an atmosphere of being, well, western. Horses and cars pass over dirt lanes throughout wet fields. Smoke rises from the chimneys of brick cottages and taverns. It's all rather fetching in its own way. After much high altitude sightseeing, we finally land at our destination, Tempelhof Airport in Outer Berlin. When I first tried to get up, I find my legs have fallen asleep. I was warned by Takeshi that your limbs can turn into jelly when you fly. Although I think it's probably is exaggerated. Stretching it off, I stand out of my seat and collect my luggage. Exiting the plane, I head through a terminal building at the airfield on outside. Let me only save because for now it's like being like slow to start the game because it's explaining a little bit to understand what's happening on your country like that. So it's a slow start. It's like I think at the beginning could be faster to start the main story. It's kind of like slow and it's kind of boring in start. Only now that we are entering what is the story? Is that not that it's something to complain, right? It's like to understand a little bit of the story of our country, but like some people don't like this, that is slow to start. The busy entrance is bustling with vehicles and civilians going about their business. I keep an eye out for any sign of a welcome party, but none presents itself. That's weird. Uncle Yamamoto said there will be some kind of delegation to welcome me. Sure it off, I hailed to a taxi. It's probably just a short ride into the capital city from the airport anyway. 10 minutes later. Well, here I am. After an extremely long journey and a lot of fraught nerves, I arrived in Europa, the western continent. This is the capital city of the centrally based located nation of Germania, Outer Berlin, the center of the fascist dictatorship. Outer Berlin is a city to the east of the country and was founded by many centuries ago along a riverbank. At least that's what I read in the airplane free travel magazine. I take a moment to absorb the city around me. The center of the metropolis seems to have a lot of newly built classic architecture. Automobiles are hired in Zimpangu, a pass along the cobbled lanes beside trams, carriage, lorries and bicycles. Red banners line the sides of buildings and booths and hang from the street lamps bearing symbols and slogans. What's with that symbol? The sword in the white circle on red. It looks like some kind of cultish medieval icon, like something from the Knights Templar. I suppose that's the flag of Germania and the ruling Nazi party. I soon lose track of how many monuments and national sites I have crossed. Outer Berlin sure has a lot of history. So this is the Germanian capital, or the tourist area anyway. For such a dangerous dictatorship, it actually seems quite normal, though initial looks can be deceiving. My uncle told me to be on my guard. That's not a couple of nice buildings or small stoplights. Sure enough, within moments, uniformed soldiers strolled past on the main street, shoving citizens out of their way, wearing high boots, fashionable overcoats, and goose-stepping in a quick march. It makes for a bit of silly display. The armband-wearing brutes salute the shopkeepers and business owners who fearfully raise their arms to them. That's right, hey you, out of the way unless you want my boot in your back. The open display of militarism isn't much different from back home in Zimpangu, though it has a different feeling. In some quarters there is even evidence of damage to business, with smashed in windows and shuttered shops. There is a strange marshaled feeling amongst the populace. These are people ready for war. Looking about me, I find myself completely alone. No guide or officer or anybody to greet me. I guess I'm on my way on here. I was sent a telegram with the address that I'm supposed to arrive at sometime soon. Pulling it off of my pocket, I glanced it once over. Okay, Imperius Tag 123 Fugard Drive, Outer Berlin. I assume it's some kind of military barracks, but I don't really know where to begin or how to find it. I get a lot of dirty looks as I wander about. Without a native guiding me, I'll be very lost. Foreigners surround me, walking past on the street, going to shops. The language is more guttural and harder to understand. I learned a little German when I was in high school, but learning a language and speaking it are very different things. Not sure what to do, I tried to approach a stranger. A stranger? It's not a stranger, it's a lot of strangers, okay. Imported man. An imported looking man wearing a business suit passed by me, a newspaper folded under his arm. Excuse me, I was wondering if you could help me. What's this? A dirty foreigner? What do you want? Sorry to bother you, but do you know the way to this address? I'll out the note to him. Out of my way, you stinking Oresian. I can't be late. Today of all days, there's a rally on today. Rally? What's a rally? Learn to read, won't you? Taking the newspaper, he shoves into my hands and storms off. What a culture shock. He didn't have to be so rude. I looked down at the newspaper in my hands. Death to our enemies, all hail Germania. Some kind of right-wing tabloid, a platform for the ruling Nazi party to make news and announcements. The writer and journalists seemed very paranoid and angry, swapping propaganda left, right, and center. Still, maybe there will be some useful information in one of these articles. I started to read the newspaper, trying to pick out a helpful article. The failed Britannian appeasement, Big Rouse expect glorious rally, politics our enemy in the east, continue asking, oh no, rally, there is a rally. I'm going to read the story titled Big Rouse expect for glorious rally. Once again, our beloved Fubar shall be attending a mass rally on the... However, the article has mostly been torn out and isn't legible after that sentence. Strange, maybe that important looking man took it with him as a token? The failed Britain appeasement. A focus on the article The failed Britain appeasement. Peace talks and negotiations finally collapsed today after the Britannians walked away once again. Ever since the crisis in Ceuta last year, First Minister Chambers has desperately tried to twist the Fubar's arm. The Britannians want to control the diplomatic narrative and weakly appease Germany to prevent a war. So the Britannians are trying to stop a war? Like it or not, a war is coming, Mr. Chambers. The Fubar is surrounded, she has no choice. Now the Britannians and France are building up their armies, readying themselves for the inevitable. Appeasement has failed, the allies are our enemies, and Europa is entering a bloody new phase. What a strange story. Then we have Politics, our enemy in the East. A look at the headline titled Politics, our enemies in the East. We have a dangerous enemy on our eastern borders, a unnatural and sneaky enemy, never to be trusted. Politics may seem rather innocent form in the aftermath of the last war, having fought for its independence. But as a state, it has no right to exist. Its land belongs to Germany, not to Politics. They are a bunch of liars. I'm guessing Germanians don't like Politics. Not to mention, its leader is a total dictator. Edwina Smigli is a crook, a bully, a scoundrel. The sooner the Fubar teach her and her culture a lesson, the better. Teach them a lesson? I wonder what they mean by that. A war. Some interesting information, but not much detail that helps me out. I should keep asking around. Okay, soldier. Hey, what are you looking at? Who, me? Are you looking for trouble for Game Boy? We don't take kindly to your type around here. Not at all. I should get away from her before this turns ugly. Okay, young woman. I'll try asking someone else. A young woman wanders nearby. Excuse me, madam, do you know where I might find the nearest military barracks? Military barracks? You understood me? More or less. Maybe I'm not that bad at speaking the language after all. Thank goodness. So, do you know where the nearest barracks are? I'm sorry, but I can't help you right now. I'm in a hurry. There's a rally going on at the Imperium Stag. Imperium Stag? I look over the note in my hand. Printed at the top in bold is the phrase Imperium Stag. It's the headquarters of Fubar, Adorofia Itora. The Fubar, Adorofia Itora. The dictator of Germany, the person I'm here to spy. Whoa, what a lucky break. I have this address, you see, but I'm not sure how to get there. And turns out that this Imperium Stag is where I'm trying to get to. What are the chances? I show her the telegram. So, can you tell me where it is? She glanced over the papers before handing it back to me. I don't have time to tell you, but if you just follow the crowd, you should find it. I was just going along to see what all the fuss is about. Without staying to talk longer, Doomer hurries on ahead. Everyone seems excited today. Something pretty important must be happening at the Imperium Stag. Maybe I should investigate. It's where I need to report to after all. I might as well find out what this rally thing is all about. Because you say that if you want you can leave, or if you want to understand what's more about this rally, you should talk with other people. Itora Scout. I tried to report someone else. A young boy in a scout uniform strode past, full of glee. Whoa, I can't believe it. She's going to be there. She's actually going to be there. Excuse me? My whole Itora Scouts group is already at the rally. It's going to be amazing. Without staying to talk, the youth runs off. The people here are rude. Maybe I should try to find it on my own. If I wander in a straight line, I can always trace my steps back to here. Obese man. I posted an obese man in leather's horn waddling nearby. Excuse me, sir. Out of the way. I'm in hurry. No, I don't think you are really hurrying anywhere at that pace. His big cheeks wobble profusely as he talks and the words come out slowly. It's difficult to understand what he's saying. You don't seem to be in much hurry of a hurry. Don't be so rude. I'll have you knowing that I'm an athlete. The man whizzes as he slowly walks. Really? Which sport? Chess. I'm Germany's number 1 grandmaster. Huh. I don't know how much help this man will be to me. Burp. He burps rather loudly in my face and scratches his behind. Full of beer and bratwurst, the stereotype slowly disappears into a nearby pie shop. Shopkeep. I find a shopkeep nearby, greeting customer by his store. Excuse me, sir, can you tell me what street I'm on? Okay, he's singing? He speaks too quickly and I struggle to understand a single thing he says. Sorry, never mind. Tourist. Offended, the man turns his back on me and attends to other customers. Suspicious officer. I see a military officer of some description and approach him. With a shifty look about him, he tries to avoid eye contact with people as he moves down the street. Keeping low profile, others barely notice him as he sneaks about. Excuse me? My question takes him by surprise. Can you help me? I don't think he was expecting anybody to approach him. The eagle-eyed balding man stands up straight and glances at me with contempt. I don't have time to deal with foreign soldiers like you. Don't try to approach me again. The mysterious and rude officer disappears into the crowd, not looking back at us. That was strange. Just what he's up to. Okay, so we need to leave. Confident about where to go, I start following strangers along the street. The crowd darts this way and that along busy roads and past enormous stone buildings. Buses and automobiles honk their horns as congestion builds. A flood of eager people fills the sidewalks, all trying to overtake as we make our way to the Imperium Stag. I begin to notice the sound of cheering, the noise of a large mob gathering and applauding something. What that could be, I'm not certain. Several characters that pass by are dressed in brown garb, wearing red armbands. They fashion small shorts, high white knee socks that stretch down into their boots. Hurry, I have to go get there on time. The excited atmosphere among the townsfolk gets the blood pumping. I have to see for myself what the fuss is all about. Turning the car, I make my way through the park and I'm astounded by what I find. Following the noise, I finally arrive in front of a large building in the center of town. It's the Imperium Stag. An enormous crowd is gathered outside, applauding loudly. It seems there is some kind of event going on. So this is what the Germany rally is like, and that building must be the Imperium Stag. Although I remember hearing something about it burning down once. Everyone nervously waves miniature flags and homemade banners. Uniformed men and women with rifles create a barrier between the stage and the general public. Desperate chat among strangers creates all sorts of gossip and rumors as guards keep a close eye. Good-stepping soldiers push past civilians, clearing a way for the marching band and further soldiers. Hardcore supporters wear headbands and wave glow sticks around, dancing on the grass. Perhaps it's meant to be a concert of some kind? No, wait, that seems unlikely. I've never seen anything on this scale before. Back home, sometimes military parades will draw out a big crowd, but nothing quite like this. Eventually, a bespectacled girl in uniform approaches the podium and begins to make an announcement. Settle down. Hey, I said settle down, you cretins. She shrieks at the unruly crowd before clearing her throat and continuing. Germany men, Germany women, Germany boys, Germany girls, Germanians everywhere. Before we begin the rally and listen to our great leader, we'll all take the customary oath of alliances. So the leader will be speaking here today. It's a rally for the dictator Adolfia Itora. Now the oath is voluntary. We all know what that means, so let's begin. The speaker makes a faintly violent threat and everyone seems to simmer down and fall into line. I don't think it's lost on anyone that hundreds of uniformed guards with guns line the perimeter. You will all take on oath to a girl that really is rather amazing, gorgeous and absolutely fabulous. A girl who is above the influence of pathetic earthly powers, above silly boys or scam artists. She leads the Germanic people and guides Germanians warrior fate as best as a woman can. Is this meant to be a positive speech? Maybe she is here to warm up the crowd like a stand-up comic. Through your oath, you bind yourself to a girl who was sent to us by higher powers. Do not seek Adolfia Itar with your lewd minds. You will find her through the strength of your hearts. The crowd all reach out towards the stage, crying for their leader like she's some kind of movie star. Italia is Germania, and Germania is Italia. So she who takes an oath to Italia takes on an oath to Germania. Swear to great Germania, all Germanians, everywhere, throughout the world. Altogether, the crowd begins to fanatically pledge their allegiance to the leader of Germania. As part of my mission, I try to blend in and quite repeat the words. Hey, that woman over there didn't do the oath properly. She's just mouthing the words. What? No, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. Right. That does it. We need to ask you 3 routine questions. You are coming with us. Nearby a woman in the crowd is pulled aside and simply disappears. That's weird. Wasn't someone standing there only a moment ago? Congratulations one and all. I can really feel the buzz today. Your complimentary stickers will be waiting for you at the merchandise stand on your way out. The excited mood of the crowd is infectious, and I find myself becoming enraptured with the proceedings. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the great leader of Germania, the one and only, the almighty, all-powerful, all-gorgeous, full-bar Adolfia Itora. Riotous, forced cheering erupts around the square as people shove each other to get a glimpse at it. A figure emerges from out in the Imperium Stag and climbs the stage slowly. I push back at people in the crowd as I try to look for myself. And there it is, Itora, the leader. Then I see her, the infamous dictator, the one I've been sent here to spy on. A pretty girl with jet black hair stands at the podium, preparing to address the crowds. Accessorized by a puffy cap and a crimson armband, she wears a dark grey jacket tied with a ribboned sash. Her eyes, a velveted head, glance out determinedly over the admiring mob beneath. The excited people stand up in awe. They gasp and scream and reach out towards her. Citizens of Germania, rejoice! This is a momentous day for me. I mean, for our people. Of course, for me, she was always say for me. Flanked on either side by armored guards dressed in a brown, it's almost as though she is a celebrity of our musical idol. All for Germania is a celebration and for a good reason too. Several years ago today, the great national takeover took place and I rose to become your beloved leader. So mighty was the revolution that our enemies still do not understand it, those dummies. Revolution? She must be talking about the time that Nazi party came to power. Other jealous nations criticize us. They speak of democracies and dictatorships. They haven't realized that an astounding takeover has taken place in this country. The guards either side of her maintain a blank expression as the packed masses make noise. In Germania, all stand equal, hand in hand, side by side. Well, some of us are equal anyway. There is now only one representative of Germany's sovereignty, we the people, by which I mean me, Adolfia Itora. She speaks so widely and fluently, the power she has over the crowd is at most hypnotic. So this is Adolfia Itora, the full bar of Germania. She is the leader of the Natural Sociality Party, or NAPI Party for short. Several years ago, we were a weak and lowly nation. When I took power, there were more than 1 trillion unemployed. It really was a disaster. So true, believe me. Whoa, changed it there, like showing that she only wants evil, like because her face become evil. Suddenly, I feel some kind of blinding flash, like a wave of paranoia washing through me. Huh? What was that about? That dark sensation? Did I eat something funny? Shaking my head, I tried to focus on the full bar speech. Our military was in poor condition, our citizens were starving. So true, we had no place on the world stage. Flailing her arms above her head, spittle flies all over the podium, spattering the microphone. Getting extremely excited, Tori explodes, violently banging her fist and winding up the crowds. Not as not a silver-tongued devil. Now look at us. One of the strongest economies, one of the largest standing armies, one of the happiest nations on earth. Along with our friends Vitalia, Zipangu, Osta, Ang, and now Soviet too, we are new powerhouse in the global arena. The restoration of Germany's military might and power is an event unprecedented in history. The crowd continues to shout and scream, swept up in their emotions, surely as a hold over them. And yet our stinking enemies continue to threaten and belittle us. Britannia warned us of consequence. France threatened us with treaties, and the Polish hordes are at the gates. The language is so direct and violent, yet she continues to ramp it up for the crowd. We are a people surrounded, pushed into a corner like a wolf. We must be ready to rip them to shreds. So true. Some bad hombres desire a repeat of the past to destroy our people and our country. I won't allow this. Taking a moment to inhale, she smiles bitterly and looks out upon her adoring citizens. There you go again. That feeling again. What is that? It's dangerous feeling. It's a dark energy, controlling. I've got to shake it off. But the crowd doesn't notice and treats her like an idol, eagerly taking in everything, calling out and saluting. Remember the loss we suffered, the humiliation we endured at the hands of our enemies. The end of the last great war led to the ruin of our beloved nation, totally not our own fault. No, believe me. After the last war, Germany sunk into misery and depression, forced to bear the cost of the conflict, of course. Like many nations faced with economic ruin, militarists rose to power, forming dictatorship and juntas. But now that's all ancient history. Our armies have been rebuilt, public projects have made our economy strong, our youth have jobs in the military. Public works are a big part of Italy's drive to change the economy. Road building, hospitals, dams, museums, cat cafes. We have no need for forced treaties or enemy slander. Those stinkheads can just leave us alone. I withdraw our country's signature from the Treaty of the Reflecting Palace. Territory that the old empire lost was reclaimed, and annexed Brethren nations were made to join our cause. I formed alliances and pacts with countries near and far, and with that, might and power was restored to my nation. Another great cheer goes up. But our work is not yet finished. We must remember who it is we are, what it is we stand for as a people. Silky hair, smooth skin, sparkling eyes. Let's face it, we are absolutely fabulous, especially all you blondies out there. Suddenly a dog clambers onto the stage and barks at Dictator. Hey Blondie, I don't mean you. She laughs at the animal, hops at her feet before dashing away. Anyway, just remember how gorgeous Germanians are, and the most gorgeous one of all? Why, it's me, of course. It seems the German dictator is a bit vain and has an obsession with hair color and genetics, heritage and blood. It seems to be an important vow to these cheering Germanians. We have no need for the impure, the weak, or those gross non-Germanians. They are all important. A nation cannot be called important as long as it is able to produce brilliant minds like mine, to build roads, to design planes and tanks, to produce music, comics, and works of art. Although no jazz, and no comedy either, and any foreign influence scientist can live too. Well, we must keep fighting. A peace accepted on someone else's terms is no peace at all. In order to survive in this world, we must fight for self-preservation. We must stand up to those that stand up to us. Self-preservation, standing up to others. Aren't those just euphemisms for war? There he goes again. Anyhow, she certainly has a way with words. Wait, I didn't think that, but wait, did I? The crowd hangs on her every syllable. Some are even wearing shirts with the full bar face plastered on them. The message is simple. We are might, we are beautiful, and we will fight dirty to preserve our country. Make Europa great again. Hail Germania. Hail me. A massive roar goes up from the crowd, followed by thunderous applause. The atmosphere is sweltering. The people here really must admire this girl, or fear her, one of those two. Guards continue to hold the perimeter. Brown-shirted thugs with red armbands pace through the crowd with clubs. Just who is this Adorofia Itora? What kind of dictator is she, really? A deranged lunatic? A sweet girl? Both? Our enemies say that we are out of touch, that we are isolated. They accuse us of selfishness and greed. Even when they agree to peace in our time, they laugh at us behind our backs. Suddenly, members of the crowd begin to call out, almost as if prompted by the foobar. The Britannian weaklings, the Franzo cowards, the Zomnist brutes. They don't want us to make this continent night paradise full of hot blood dodes. Those monsters. Dodes? Gunter, what are you saying? Please don't say those kind of things. Shoot, I say too much. But even now, we are reaching out to our allies and sisters calling for support. The cowards and traitors are gone. No longer shall we linger on lost companions and old generals. There goes again, that dark side. If we are to survive as a nation, we must always be moving forwards. We must strive to fight and survive by any means. Her words begin to become more warlike, more provocative. I find the crowd slowly become interested by her speech. One of our country's closest friends, the Empire of Zimpangu, has submitted to the terms of our anti-Zomnitern pact. Closest friends? If only she knew how much her recent pact upset Zimpangu's politics. Currently, they are battling the Zomnists in Zaina, along with some crack Germanian advisors. The mob begins to murmur and shout some more. Damn Zanese cowards, they dare to fight the army of our friends? To hell with them! Down with the Zomnist soldiers and the warlords, how dare they attack our friends? Wait a minute, didn't we arm the Zanese army not that long ago? As Zimpangu fights their war in Zaina, using our guns, they send us their brightest minds. Adolfo Hitler begins to talk about the exploits of the Empire of Zimpangu and Germania, with a few lies thrown in. Though behind the scenes there is nothing but tension and mistrust between our two nations. I mean, it's why I've been sent here after all. They will probably stop emphasizing friendship soon. Now the Union of Soviet is on good terms with Germany instead. A young man next to me suddenly grabs my arm and begins yelling. Hey you, yeah you, what are you doing? I thought you looked suspicious. You must be a Chinese spy. What? I'm not from Zaina, I'm from Zimpangu. Although, how did he know I was a spy? I knew it. I'm going to hang as a traitor already. Oh yeah? That sounds like a trick. You Oresians look alike too. What are you doing lingering like this? The German man starts to pull on my elbow as others turn around to stare. Hang on, where are you taking me? Let go of my arm. You are coming with me to talk with the football guards. I will expose you as an enemy before the leader herself. Who is that? A forgotten Zomnist? A Zomnist infiltrate is here in the crowd? Kick him off for me. It must be an assassin, here to take out our great leader with that big letter opener of his. There's actually an enemy forgotten in the crowd. How scary! Get him! Get the different looking forgotten! Wiped up into a frenzy by a Taurus hypnotic speech, the ordinary citizens all begin to denigrate me. Jesus. Wait a minute, I'm not a Zomnist. I meant to be on your side. I'm a soldier from the Empire of Zimpangu. As if you expect us to believe such an obvious lie. I fought with Chinese soldiers personally. See, he's been to Zaina. That's a proof enough that you are a Chinese infiltrator. You have to get him up to our leader. She'll know what to do. This isn't good. At this rate, I'll be exposed for what I actually am, or worse. Slipping out of the grasp of the angry mob, I turn tail and run away. Hey, wait a minute, get back here! Come on, let's get him! Catch the forgotten devil! Chased out of the ground of the Imperial Stag, I found myself running through the cobbled streets of Alt-Berlin. An angry mob of blonde-haired Germans gives chase, yelling and demanding my head. Get him! Get the forgotten Zomnist! Let's expose him! Kill the forgotten! How dare you try to spread out your origin Zomnism here? Huh? I thought you guys liked Zomnism now, anyway? That's just Soviet Zomnism. You are forgetting Zomnism is completely different. These angry mob sure have weird principles. Desperately avoid their grabbing hands and projectiles, I keep dashing through the lanes and alleys. The confused street signs led me this way and that as I'm pursued across the city. I can't understand that because it's German. Where the heck am I? The National Gallery? Oh, I think that one's the Alto Berliner Dome. At least I'm getting some sight on. Dashing past the resident on a car, I notice a uniformed policeman berating an old woman. For the final time, where are your papers? Huh? But I told you, those are my papers. I don't believe you. I think you forged these papers. I think you are trying me. No, please, I will never. And where is your flag? Why are you not hanging the flag all of the Nazi party on a rally day? I'm old. I can't climb the step ladder to hang a flag. You are lying again, old woman. Maybe a night in the Gestapo cell will teach you a lesson. No, please. Turning the car, I can't see what happened between the two of them. What was all that about? So there are secret police here in Albertine too. Hey, don't think you can get away that easily? The mob continues to fall close behind, so I keep running as fast as I can. Cutting across a marked square, I soon see flames ahead and smoke rising. A large crowd of people seem to be gathered around a bonfire. What could they be burning at this time of day? As I get close, I soon find out. There is a big pile of burning books surrounded by angry citizens throwing literature into the fire. Books of Zionism, pornography, Western ideals, freedoms, and, well, basically anything else. Burn, you stupid books! Burn the evil away! What the heck is going on in this crazy city? From over my shoulder, I look back and see the mob are still hot on my tail. Just you wait, we know just what to do with foreigners like you. You'll be sent away to prison to do back-breaking labor. I told you, I'm not a spy. Well, not a Zionist spy anyway. Cutting past the bonfire in the center of the square, I duck down into a side alleyway. However, the mob is still right behind me, angrily grasping and stealing me degrading insults. What a terrible first day. Won't they ever give up? A crazy city. Meanwhile, outside Info Airport at Berlin, Germany. At Infelhof Airport, 2 members of other via Italian inner circle look around there at the airfields. That's strange. Commander Yamamoto flight should have landed by now. Goring and Joe Bells wait around outside the terminal, ready to escort the Zampagese soldier into the city. It's because we got here so late. Huh? We weren't that late, only 45 minutes or so. It's not that bad. This is your fault. If only you hadn't stopped to pick up that bucket of fried chicken. But I was so hungry. It would have been so bad to give Commander Yamamoto a tour of the city on an empty stomach. Their instructions were to show him the monuments and the tourist traps before dropping him off at the rally. This is terrible. What will the fubar think? She'll probably have us both the motor shot. Come on, let's not play the blame game anyway. Maybe he landed at a different airfield? Not certain what happened. The failed tour guides paced the tarmac and tried to work out what to do next. I'm sure he's fine. Yeah, we are fine, we are. Back in center of Alto Berlin, Germany. Come on, give me a break already. After running for a solid 20 minutes, it felt like my legs are going to give out. Panting for breath, I started to answer the wary name-calling of my pursuers. And you know what I hate most? How you look so different from me. These Germans must really hate foreigners. Eventually, I somehow managed to circle my way back to the grounds of the Imperium Stag. What? No, you got to be kidding me. After all of that, I'm right back in the center of a large hostile crowd. Unable to keep quiet, trip and collapse into dirt. Ha! Gotcha! Come on, you are coming with us this time. I fought against my captors, but now my legs are truly worn out. I found myself being helplessly dragged through the crowd and abused. What are you doing? Get off me! Let go! However, they refused to listen and continued to tug on my arm and push. Soon enough, we reached the front of the stage. I fell to my knees again as armed guards surrounded me. Look, dear leader, we found a foreign agitator. He was in the crowd, get ready to shoot. I'm not even carrying a gun. Well, he got a sword. Maybe he was going to throw it at the fubar? I feel a bayonet at my back and watch jackboots pounding on dirt as more fascist guards come forward. This is a bad situation. Then I hear gasping all around as a figure comes into view. Having leapt off the stage, the full-body Tora stands before me. The guard rushes to her side. What are you idiots doing? You are blocking the cameras. This is going to out live on the radio too. All she's worried about is her image during the broadcast. I scored a forgame, dear leader, one of the zombies dogs you spoke about. He was going to hurt you. A forgame, huh? Is that enough reason to disturb one of my speech? I haven't even made it into the first hour. I apologize, dear leader. I did it without thinking. Whoa, that's shaky aggressive posture. She really is cute up close. Looking at me and down, the female dictator suddenly changed her expression. Yamamoto, the famous soldier? Is that really you lying on broken bottle? Huh? Broken bottle? Wait, never mind that. You know who I am? Commander Yamato Yamamoto from the Empire of Zimpangu? It is you. I sent for you, so you finally arrived. Wait a minute. You don't look like your photographs. And what are you doing on the ground like that? Come on, get up here. The excitable dictator grabs my arm and pulls me with her towards the podium. Hey, wait a minute. Wait a moment. Stop it. I haven't prepared anything. Come on, this way. Stop being shy. We have to introduce you to everyone. Introduce me? I forced on stage by energetic girl until I'm side by side with the podium. The confused crowd begins to notice. I feel the force of 1,000 curious eyes watching me. Citizens of Germania, I have some wonderful news for you all. As a part of our anti-zombie turn pact, we have an exchange program arranged with the Empire of Zimpangu. For several weeks we have been waiting the arrival of a new military advisor. She's making me feel like an exchange student in the school classroom. Soon enough she'll make me write my name on the board and introduce myself. I shall try to pick the seat by the window. As I think over these dumb thoughts, Adolfia Itoro continues the introduction. This is Commander Yamato Yamamoto, a former warrant officer of the Imperial Army from the Empire of Zimpangu. A man of such extraordinary talent and dashing good looks that I personally select him from their ranks. I can't believe this is happening. She's talking to this massive crowd about me. Has she personally picked me? Just what is going on here? I see some of you murmuring and pulling face at this selection. Fear not, the Zimpangese people are a warrior race. Descended from the violence are corrupt samurai, their modern souls are clever as well as fierce. Actually, that's kind of a misnomer. We are not all descended from samurai. Well, my family are, but still. Yamato Yamamoto himself is a braver and more loyal than any other I've read about. She simply ignores me and continues her speech. Germany will grow stronger working with our friends. Side by side, we'll guide this country into the future. With a fresh perspective, we shall look to expand and conquer this continent by might and force. We will show our adversaries just how wrong they are. We will crush them all into dirt. I'm beginning to feel a little caught out here. What have I got myself into? The world is moving into a new era, and Germania will lead the way with our armies and our strength. Once again, the message is simple. Fight bravely, destroy our enemies, and advance into the new tomorrow. All hail Germania, all hail Itora, all hail me. The entrance mob chants the phrase back and then chants it cheering once more. Following the rousing speech, other Itora chants the steps and makes their way through the crowd. Uniformed soldiers push behind and in front, butting at people with their rifles, creating a path for her to walk. The desperate and nervous citizens salute and grasp outwards, hoping to touch their dear leader. Journalists shout pre-select questions and take photographs, hoping for some response from the girl. However, with tact, grace, and an entourage of thugs, she simply smiles and continues walking. As her bodyguards keep off the more fanatic worshippers, Itora calmly waves at her adoring fans. She greets some small children that stumble in front of her path, shaking hands with their parents. One young woman holds out a notepad and pencil. Dear leader, please sign this. Dorothea Itora takes the item from the girl, signs an autograph, and hands them back. Thank you, dear leader. I'm honored. I hope someday to die for you. You are a beautiful girl. I'm sure you'll make a fine bride before you get blown up. The football complimented me. She fainted. The girl practically faints, having to be caught by fans nearby. Itora moves on to the next group, signing photographs, giving thanks, and posing for her followers. She turns back to face me. Just wait for me, okay, Commander Yamato? I'll be with you soon. With that, the dictator disappears further into the crowd, leaving me on stage. What a bizarre experience. Finding myself waiting on stage, journalists take my picture and query me. First I was chased through the streets by a lynch mob, now I'm practically a celebrity. It's going to be a long day. Of course. Inside the Palestine, as I closely follow behind the full-bar Adolfia Itora and her bodyguards. It's rather surreal to be this close to a forgotten dictator in the house of power of their capital city. A grand building to marble pillars, classical sculptures, and huge crowds of soldiers, politicians alike. Heading down a corridor near the rear of the building, we come to a halt. Thank you, guards, that will be all. She says that to the soldiers, who then salute and march away, leaving me alone with the fubar. Turning to me, Adolfia Itora smiles proudly. It must be an interesting first experience of Alter Berlin for you. I'll say, seeing a nappy rally, being chased by a racist mob, book burnings, secret police. Yes, it must have been a big culture shock to see such civilized behavior. Civilized? Anyway, this whole adventure has been surreal so far, and it feels like it's only going to get weirder. But it seems to be going according to the Uncle Yamamoto plan now. I've made contact with Adolfia Itora. A female officer approaches from nearby, goes stepping, and salutes us both in greeting. It's the speaker from earlier at the rally, the one who introduced the Fubar before a speech. Ah, Yamato, I'd like you to meet my biggest fan, Deputy Fubar Hess. She's responsible for introducing me at rallies. She's also the president of the fan club, writes the weekly newsletter, and runs my merchandise stalls at events. Yes, because on War you sell merchandise, right? You like, you buy it. The German dictator really does have a cult behind around her. So now we know the name, it's S for this. Hello there, Komali Yamamoto. The deputy Fubar stands tall with rather wild eyes and a slightly nervous demeanor. A dark-haired beauty with thick eyebrows, she looks at me excitedly and extends her hand. As stalwart traitor de Fubars, it's an honor to meet you. Welcome to Adolfia Itora's headquarters. Adolfia Itora's headquarters? As you already know, this is the Imperiumstag, the seat of the German government and the military. It's magnificent, especially now all the crowds are gone. Originally constructed to an old parliament, it has since expanded to become a minister and my official residence. It was mysteriously burned down a few years ago, but I guess we'll never know how. Why do I get the feeling she knows more than she is letting go on? Of course, I had the entire place rebuilt when I took power. At first I wanted to leave it ruins, but the pair convinced me otherwise. The peer, maybe is one of her staff. We moved my old headquarters, the Imperium's, holy shit, what is that, here too, and combined them. Now it's a new Super Imperium Castle tag, no more democratic ideals to be found here. As time has passed, it became a symbol of German power, strength, renewal, and the glories of being me, Adolfia Itora. Everything situated in one building, from the military headquarters to the leader private residence. It's highly unusual, but I guess it makes things more convenient, and the architecture certainly seems impressive. I know it's not much, but for a ministry building it will do. This is the heart of all that goes on in Germania. From here we will make our plans for Europa. EOS opens up a file and retrieves an important looking stack of papers. Here we go, my fubar. These decrees still need your approval. She looks upon her fubar with enormous psychopathic pride and seems somewhat awestruck in her presence. Hitor casually takes a pen from the deputy fubar, signs the document and passes it back. Thank you, my fubar. It's an honor to serve you and to serve the greater German Empire. Her eyes gleaming, full of cultish devotion and loyalty, as salutes and backs away. Greater German Empire? Yes, it's all part of my master plan. Together, you and I are going to change the world. Change the world? Isn't that a bit grand? And why am I included in that? You see, I always had a dream. For as long as I can remember, I had a vision. Suddenly, Adolfia Itar pulls a strange face. Hang on, I forgot to formally introduce myself. How rude of me. Well, it would be a little late now. Although coming from Zimpangu, I really would prefer that we formally introduce ourselves. It's a good custom. The girl stands up straight and clicks the heels of her boots together. I am Adolfia Itor, the Fubar of Germany, and Alberster. I can't say this because, like, what the fuck? I see. Though I don't understand most of those words. Nice to meet you anyway. I'm Warrant Officer Commander Yamato Yamamoto of Zimpangu. I guess I'm your new advisor. I should begin to take some mental notes. If I'm here to spy, I should look for anything out of the ordinary. Well, duh, I call you here. I know you only too well. Every day I've been reading of your adventures in Zaina. Reading my adventures. You mean in newspapers? I was interviewed several times for propaganda reasons back home, so there are plenty of news articles. I think you can actually buy my autobiography now. At least I heard I might have one. He has an autobiography, but he doesn't even know if it exists or not. Out of interest, is that why you invite me here? I just like letting shiny new things, and having the best soul example seemed like a fun idea. So I'm just a collectible? Come on, we are just through here. We enter into our ornate office adjoining to a sitting room. Beautiful portraits line the walls. A hand-sculpted fireplace rests at the room center. Armchairs with plump cushions sit near to a window that overlooks the grounds below. This is my personal office. I had moved here from my old headquarters in the Imperial Consulate. You moved the entire office? You might think that is a drawing room where you tie to take a tea and relax. However, intricate military maps are strewn on the tables near to dossiers. Important papers cover the desk and lockers, all documenting recent campaigns and potential strategies. There are telegrams with instructions like Ansast, Heinfall, Halt, and Du bist Hainan Mine. Multiple telephones lie around, their wires leading out under the door frames to other rooms. So these are the Rofia Itor's office, the Imperial Stack Situation Room and main hub. Sorry about the mess, but this is the way I like to run things. As we approach the main area, I find we are not alone. There are three rather fetching young women with us. Let me introduce my key advisors from the General Stall and my inner circle. Inner circle? These three girls? Alright, just roll with it. Be cool. You are a world-class spy after all. The girls stand up straight and step forward one at a time. This Josefina Jobels from the Propaganda Ministerium, my Minister for Propaganda. Hello, Commander Yamato, it's nice to meet you. The blossom-haired girl looks unwell as I approach her. When I move close, she moves backwards, so she's shy, okay. Jobels is that girl that's shy. Please, no closer. I should explain. Jobels has a severe case of androphobia. Androphobia? In short, it means she has fear of men. Oh, she's not shy. She has a fear of men. Interesting. She said looks intimidated. Shaking her boots, she glances at me nervously like a small rodent. It's nice to meet you. Jobels, a shy and thin girl responsible for this country's propaganda. Hey, aren't you going to introduce me? A tall girl with slightly thicker frame comes forward, a boisterous grin on her face. Holy shit, the Imperial Skull Ermina Göring, commander of the German Luftwaffe, so Göring, it's better to say like that. Nice to meet you, although you have probably heard all about me already. She slaps me on the back and gives a hearty laugh. Actually, no, your face doesn't seem familiar. What's the big idea? As thought it were a massive blow to her confidence, a look of despair creeps across her face. Anyway, what is this Luftwaffe thing you have mentioned? You haven't even heard of the Luftwaffe? It's Germany's Air Force for crying out loud. In the German military structure there are four main branches and commands. OK, OKV, OKT, OKS, and OKR. That's basically the upper command OKV, the army OKT, the navy OKS, and the air force OKR. So Göring is responsible for an entire branch of Germany's military, the Luftwaffe. While Göring seems somewhat capable, I often catch her lazing about and eating snacks. Hey, don't click your tongue at me like some delinquent. Roger. And I heard about what happened at the airfield today. Don't think I've forgotten. Roger. I stretched out my hand towards Goring with a smile. Nice to meet you. I'm Yamato Yamamoto. I look forward to working together. Slowly, she starts to regain her composure, taking my hand in hers and shaking firmly. Yamato, is it? Haha, good show. Emir Goring, a bold character but with lazy and greedy personality. And lastly, this Karol Dunitz, commander of German Naval Force, the Krieges. So Dunitz. What do you mean lastly? So I'm guessing this woman is part of the Oberkommand Sea. Hey, I'm picking up the language pretty fast. Bored of the situation, the tall blonde girl starts openly readjust her bra. Hey, don't do that in front of Commander Yamato. Huh? Commander Yamato? The busty beauty turns and seems to notice me for the first time. Huh? What's this? A new recruit? Her hand on her hip, she leans forward provocatively to look at me closer. This soldier from Zimbabwe that I was telling you about. He's got a pretty good face, a bit rough for some taste, but I can't overlook that. My throat. She smiles straight at me in the way that only a battle-hardened, mature woman can. Gross. This is why I don't introduce you to new people. Anyway, she is in charge of our sea operations during these tense times in Europa. Nice to meet you. I actually have an uncle in the Navy. Karol Dunitz, head of their sea, a bored, lazy personality type. Together they make up our country strategies, along with Commander Rommel, Valkenhorst and many more. By the way, where is Erwina Rommel? Probably playing around with her tongues again and picking on that friend of hers. Not that there is anything wrong with teasing others. Donnie smiles at me as she says that. Man. Huh? Did you say something, Jobei? Please don't call me that. What's wrong with calling you that? Jobei, you could use it as an alias for late night romps. Albert Leander Schnauz. Huh? What do you call me? The three men start talking amongst themselves and slowly filter out of the room. Adolfi, Itor and I left alone. Oh, and there is one more person you should know about. Reaching behind an armchair, the fubar pulls out some kind of stuffed teddy bear. This is your main competition, say hello. The teddy bear simply flops as Itor picks up his arm and begins waving it at me. Huh? Competition? A fluffy toy is competing against me? Wait, what are we competing over? Please explain, this is confusing enough as it is. This bear is called Kettle and is officially the... Okay. That was mouthful. Sorry, can you say that more slowly? My German language skills still aren't that advanced. Oh, of course. I said that he is commander-in-chief of the army and runs the Oberkommand der Wehrmacht. She has stuffed armor running the OKV, the upper command of the military force. What a strange land, I mean. Having met Goring and Joe Bells, I guess this cuddle toy is the final boss. Huh? What's that kettle? You think your super cool Fubar should go ahead and invade Britannia whenever she wants? Haha, what a lame joke. You are so spineless, Kettle, but that's what I like about you. This girl needs psychiatric evaluation. No, seriously. So all craziness aside, why is this teddy bear going to be my competition? Because you are going to be advising me too, along with Brauschist and the Oberkommand des Troop. The what? The Oberkommand des Troop, the other branch of the land force, along with the Oberkommand der Wehrmacht. Isn't that right, Brauschist? What the fuck? Suddenly a sock puppet appears on Itori's right hand, carrying the case alongside Teddy Bear. Jeez, you guys are always going at it. At least Yamato is here now, so he can referee between you both. What a bizarre situation. The OKV and OKT always fight over everything. Battle, order, plans, invasions, it's just a fact of life. I'm going to be honest, this match seems a little one-sided. The Fubar soon stuffs the sock into one pocket, eventually favoring the teddy bear. Process is easy, but don't underestimate Kettle. He has super deadly moves. Besides, he's my favorite. You're going to have to do something pretty special to win me over. Wait a second. If Kettle is practically Itora's puppet, doesn't that mean I'm going to against the Fubar herself? How am I supposed to win an argument if her commander-in-chief is a stuffed toy with a squeaker? Gently placing the bear back down the couch, the Fubar sighs and turns to me. Our silly drugs are over. It's time I told you why you were brought here, Commander Yamato. She says that in a very prompt Germanic manner, finally some context to this ordeal. I call you to Germany for one reason alone. I have a dream, a vision. She goes back to her dream speech immediately. Put simple, it is my dream to conquer Europe and to avenge Germany's humiliation all those years ago. Conquer Europa? You mean all of it? Well, most of it. That's impossible, I mean. I don't know much about this place, but just looking at the map, it's a huge continent. It's every young leader's dream. From Caesar to Napoleon, rulers have tried and failed. Now it is time for a beautiful Germanic dictator to rise to the challenge. Such ambition, such vanity. Commander Yamato, I need your help. I want you to be my eyes and ears, as well as my special military advisor. Why do you call me in particular? I'm sure there are many other capable Germanian soldiers. That's... She goes quiet. I notice her ears prick up slightly, and she glances over towards the door. I need your protection and help, Yamamoto. With your abilities, all you can do it. Protection? Seems to leave it there, not wanting to go into any further detail. But to reiterate the point, why me? I was quite happy back home in Zimpango. Because I need someone with a fiery spirit, a warrior with intelligence and great skill. I need a samurai for this role, Yamato. I'm not actually a samurai though. There are no modern samurai. That's a misconception. The reports of your bravery, loyalty, and skill in battle impressed me greatly. When I heard about the lone marksman from Shenzhenga, when I read about your exploits on the field, it made me think. Made you think? I thought that this Zimbabwean warrant officer would make a great addition to my collection. Her collection of soon-to-be deceased commanders? The way you fought and rose through the ranks, it reminded me of my own amazing military career in the trench. And I couldn't stop thinking that I had to meet with you. I had to have you on my side. I needed a warrant officer Yamamoto from Zimpango to advise me. So she had me sent here from the other side of the planet based on some articles. She must really think highly of me. But what about Germany's superiority? I thought you believed in that sort of thing. I don't regard the Zimbabwean people as being inferior. They belong to an ancient civilization, and I admit freely that their history is superior to our own. I mean, there's no need to be so fascinated by my country's culture. Adolfia Itar begins to speak with passion from the heart. Their arts, their architecture, their fashion, their music, their history, their cartoons, their conventions. I believe the more steadfast the Zimbabwe people remain in their pride, the easier I find it to get along with them. So basically, she's a huge Shinichi Wedabu dweeb. But surely there must be another reason for me to come all this way and be trusted with such high level position. Do I need another reason? You have an impressive war record, okay? Does your full bar needs to say more? Adolfia Itar goes on defensive. She's hiding something. I get the feeling there might be something else, but decide to drop the subject. Okay, so what you need me to do? I want you to be my personal frontline advisor, my toy. You will visit the front regularly and report directly to me. Personal frontline toy? What kind of role is this? It's simple. You'll be at the front observing the army and pushing through with my plans. I can't stand these armchair generals in the OKT and OKV, soldiers who have no idea how things are on the ground. I need you fighting with the men and women, showing them the spirit of their Fubar. I might have to actually fight German enemies? Well, just in case you run into any trouble, I'll give you a special unit of infantry and tanks or something. A special unit, the Yamato unit. That sounds weird though. How about Yamato Force instead? At the same time, you'll have direct access to me and my office. You'll return to Outer Berlin regularly and report to me. With this, I can make sure that I'm steering the war in the right direction. War? Wait, is there already a war? Not yet, but soon. I can't conquer this country without starting a war. So she's already committed to fighting to get what she wants. This is unbelievable, and she's telling me all of this. I need someone clever but willing to be spineless. A fighter who loves to fight but someone I can control. A soldier, a spy, an advisor, a leader, and a shield toy all roll into one. My Superman, Oberman's warrior. Suddenly Ettore begins to blush. That is to say, Superman, as in the philosophical type. I don't need saving or anything. Right. Oh, shut up. This isn't the time. I try to steer the conversation back on course. Okay then, I'm working with the OKT and OKV. I'm your personal toy and frontline advisor. That's a lot of roles in one. Maybe they are in the middle of downsizing? But in the first place, how do you intend to conquer Europa? The continent is at peace for the most part. Agreements, treaties, large standing armies and navies, several factions with their own interests. Not to mention that controversial pact she just signed with the Zombies in the Unions of Soviet. I don't know much, but won't any move by Germany eventually start a lengthy and protracted war? But what if we were to move swiftly and with great force? We are planning for a short and decisive war? Then again, who doesn't plan for that? We are a nation surrounded Yamato. Germany is crying out for breathing room. We must crush our enemies and soon. We need security, we need buffers, we need to end all these bad treaties. Our only course is war. We must fight in order to survive, quickly if we can, protracted if we must. I'm reminded of her speech from early. Self-preservation is supposed what it means to be German. To that end, a war is coming, and she's going to start it. How irresponsible. You got that for Game Boy? Tell me about the current situation. Actually, I'd like to start training. On the second I quit. I don't want this job. Tell me about the current situation. Please, explain further. It sounds pretty confusing, and I want to discuss the current situation. I should take mental notes. This really is amazing information that I can send home to Edu. Very well, I'm going to need a slide deck for this. Ettore wanders over towards the back wall and pulls down a blinder, revealing a large map. Holy shit! This is a map showing the current borders of Central Europa. Finally, a decent map. So, what would you like to know? Okay. Empire of Germany and Polish Republic. In the center, in dark red, is my perfect nation of Germania, along with Austria, Borussia, Trevera and Sesa, my possessions. Because it shows that this is from Germania, and there it is Borussia. These countries are annexed to us thanks to my amazing negotiation skills and limited fighting. These nations from German Empire are in an upcoming war will need to be defended in battle. But doesn't stop there. Germany needs more lands. And I turn toward a country on the map, not yet colored in. I guess that means they are independent. In to the east of Germany is the stubborn and backward country of Polish. There it is. Ettore seems to have a lot of hatred in her voice as she starts to talk about the neighboring country. The country is an evil dictatorship run by a sneaky mad dictator called Marshal Edwina Smigli. But aren't you a dictator? Exactly. Seemingly totally stole the idea from me. I'm the real dictator, not her. It makes my blood boil. I completely trademarked the old dictator thing, not Smigli, not Starry, not Mussolini. Me. What a bizarre thing to get competitive about. All that land in Polish is rightfully mine. That country deserves to wipe it off the map, destroy completely. The Fubar begins to breathe heavily, a slight terrifying glint in her eye, swept up in her emotions. Anyway, we can come back to Polish later, don't worry about them anymore. That sounds rather ominous. Okay, King of Italia. Right, who's next? I'm going to worry about this meeting. Which country will she condemn to war next? Suddenly change to tack, Adolfia Ettore begins to smile. Of course, we also have allies and friends in Europa, like Benita, Mussolini, and the Vitalians. To the south is our ally Vitalia, which has protectorate nations in Epirus and Siracana on the southern shores. Ah yes, the land of spaghetti, pizza, meatballs, and hairy men. Mussolini was a big inspiration to me when I started out. She's a really good friend, though kind of unreliable. There are also many countries that we are on good terms with, such as Ang and Galatia and others. We may require help in the future, so it will make sense to keep communication with these nations friendly. And not along to all of this, take the information in. I think Uncle Yamamoto is going to be proud of me after this. Okay, we have France, Republic and Empire of Britannia. And then there are 4 other enemies in Europa, my nemesis. Once again, the Fubai face turns dark and she squints her eyes, beginning to huff and puff. To the west are Britain and France, the alliance powers. If possible, we should seek to make them fear us. They have weakly attempted to appease the Germanian people and for now we have accepted their terms. But history shows that they have been less than kind. They can play some sneaky tricks. Due to their merciless treaties in the past, we are not on cordial terms. We should be cautious with them. Adolf really doesn't trust them. It's to be expected after the terms that followed the first Great One. They have many protectorates as part of their empires. Gibraltar, Kyprosa, Tripolita, Gipta, Palesta. Since I come from Zimpangu, I know all about the colonies of Britain and France in the Eurasian seas, both from gigantic empires that span the globe. We really should be cautious in engaging their armies. The leader of France's armies is a man called Maurice Gamelin, a veteran of many battles, a powerful enemy. Due to past success, he has propelled to fame and has become a great symbol of strength to the Franco people. If we were ever to invade or attack their nation, I feel he would lead a fierce resistance against us. Quite resilient, a true adversary if not handled correctly. There are also many younger commanders ready to take up arms and fight for their empire. And of course, they have their politicians like Talatier making bold claims and threats. But the truth is, France is kind of lame. Their ambitions are inward looking to protect themselves and their nation. I'll talk but no action. Is it really that kind of situation? A protectionist stance rather than an aggressive one? Their interests also lie overseas, to the south on the northern coast of Africa. They hold vast territories. France's force, fierce and determined. Then there is Britannia leader Neddy Chambers. He became first minister some years ago to unite the Britannian people. Like many Britannians, he seems like a kind gentleman, full of wit and charm, but it's all an illusion. Never trust the Britannians. That's what France always say. They will stab you in the back and sell you out. But didn't Victoria rip up an agreement she made with Chambers not that long ago? Luckily, Chambers' foolish attempts at appeasement have greatly weakened his powerful grip over the islands. That's the problem with non-dictatorship. All they want is weak, pathetic peace. It makes me sick. You'll be gone soon. And in the shadows of the palace of Albion, ministers and soldiers plot ready to take control and lead. But still, we shouldn't let our guard down around Britannians. They are a very powerful military force. The island nation has been a strong empire for a long time. With a mighty navy, it's an impenetrable fortress. If the Germans aren't careful, a fleet could make its way across the ocean to ruin them. Also, we need to stop James from protecting Gamelin and the western coast of Europa, just in case. Itora's teeth shatter a little as she says that. She eventually doesn't want a repeat of the last war. As with France, the colonial battles are inevitable due to territory the Britannian Empire holds. We may find ourselves meeting them in battle soon on the southern shores or in the west. Britannian force, proud and tactful. Okay, Union of Sofia. Tracing along the map, we now focus on a massive country on the right hand side of the chart. Here it is. The Union of Sofia, divided in 2 districts in Europa. It is made up of Sofia Major and Sofia Minor. Sofia is a large and very empty place, the largest country in the world. It is also one of the most miserable. There are many soldiers willing to fight, but not many of them are skilled due to all the purging going on. And they are led by the greatest evil force in all of history, Sofia ruler Josefina Stalin, the Zionist tyrant. Josefina Stalin. the General Secretary and Dictator of the largest Zionist nation in the world. Once a clerk in the Zionist party, Stalin rose through the ranks after Lenin the effort to rule the Union of Sofia. She got a rounder face than gambling at least. Don't be deceived, she looks peaceful and kind, but beneath that smile is a twisted mind. With her powerful entourage, she is the greatest threat to the future of Germany's empire. This girl is the greatest threat to Germany? I don't believe it. A real tyrant, her people barely have enough to eat. She treats them all as mindless slaves. It makes me jealous. Adolf Hitler grinds her teeth as she speaks of her arch-nemesis and her desire to emulate her. But aren't you good terms with her? I mean, Germany signed the non-assault pact with Soviet. Well, yeah, I guess on surface level we are meant to be friends or at peace with each other or something. But the thing is, I don't really like Stalin all that much. She's kind of annoying. Adolf Hitler finds Josephine Stalin annoying? Then why did you sign the non-assault pact? Well, that was just politics really. Just because Stalin is annoying doesn't mean I can't take advantage of a good opportunity. Well, it certainly was a very powerful political play. The Britons hated the pact along with France, who politics united America and even the Zimbabweans. It means I can do whatever I want from now on without having to worry about Sophia's armies, but still. The truth is how I really feel. I hate the unions of Sophia. I hate them and their Zionist ways. This is a revelation. So Adolf Hitler doesn't want to be allies with Josephine Stalin after all? Wait a minute. That can't be good news for my uncle. It means Germany is still anti-Zionist. I know that deep down one day Germany and Sophia will go to war against each other. It's just a matter of when. Zionism is a scourge. We may shake hands now, but a deal with a Zionist means nothing. One day war will come between us. It will be a holy war, and once Sophia Major is taken, Josephine Stalin will fall. That's easier to say than done. That girl's only desire is to conquer my backyard and eventually control all Europa, probably. And that's my job. We must prevent her Zionism, barbarism from reaching the rest of us, our very civilization of destruction. Sophian force, vast and resilient. This country is full of powerful and dangerous enemies. I need to be careful about what I get involved in going forward. Whoever controls Europa controls the world. Therefore, we must weaken Sofia and defeat Pollux, Britannia and France. This Command Yamato is my dream, my struggle, my one direction. Doesn't she mean new direction? At least I read that was the name. Never mind. That's a very ambitious plan. Is Adolfia Hitler being stupid and greedy here? A girl shocked with ambition of the meaner sort? Her desire to destroy these vast empires and begin a massive war is illogical. It's dumb. She will do better to make peace, but I don't think this girl is interested in ending things in such a simple fashion. For Adolf Hitler and Germany, it's destroy or be destroyed. So actually I would like to start training. I guess I should start research and training straight away. If I'm to advise or anything, I should go to the front. First day on the job, I already been let in on information about a potential world war. Very good. I'm looking forward to working with you, Commander Yamamoto. What I have gotten myself into. This is what I get for working with dictators and emperors. That same afternoon, we make our way outside to nearby training grounds. Arriving on the grounds of the encampment, I'm assaulted by what I find. Crack squads of men drilling intensely and continuously, all the fresh-faced recruits ready for the task. Their sergeants give off howling cries as foot soldiers practice with bayonets on straw sacks. Planes fly overhead, tilting their wings in salute as the airborne armed vehicles are totally serviced. Like a well-oiled machine, the army moves and operates smoothly and efficiently with gusto. Whoa, these Germans really are ready for a fight. Today, we are going to run you through the basics of managing German soldiers and Japans. The Fubar leads the way, flanked by two of our guards. As my personal advice, you will have the job of watching over the troops and showing them how it's done. When we go into battle, I want you there, fighting alongside them on the front lines, leading the charge. Wait, you expect me to go into battle? Like actual battling? When she said front lines, I didn't think she meant the actual front lines. I thought this was going to be a desk job, a comfy tent near the front, or even a train carriage. They can also fight alongside you at times, if that's what you wish. Huh, the dictator fighting at the front? Now that's just crazy. Not at all. That is what it means to be FUBAR. It is the oh my god, after all. I can't say that. FUBAR Pringles. I have to go make a speech now. And Zia Guderian should run you through everything you need to know. And Zia Guderian? Good luck, I'm sure you'll do fine. I'll see you again this afternoon. Before I can say anything more, Adolfia Itore climbs into her personal car and is driven away. Standing in the middle of the training grounds, I look around for this soldier. And Zia Guderian. I wonder what he looks like. Probably some tall, muscular, intimidating brute of man. Or maybe an old Borussian type with a grey wispy mustache and riding a white horse. Further down the road I can hear a heavy vehicle moving my way. Huh? What is that? It's a tank. Turning to look, I see a giant tank roll around the bend out of nowhere, speeding along the roads. A huge monstrosity of a tank coated in steely grey, larger than any Orician tank I ever seen. The cannon, the tracks, the running engine, it's so futuristic and it's coming straight at me. Yay! Jumping out of the way just in time, I roll across a patch of grass and into a muddy puddle. My uniform is covered in dirty water as I start to land gracefully. Ugh, just my luck. The tank skids to out on the road, leaving a wisp of smoke hanging in the air. Out of the top hatch of the tank, a hairy figure emerges. Oh, is that girl from the beginning? Enthusiast girl hops down to the ground with a graceful glide and shakes her head. All the while she is grinning cheekily, her sharp fangs on display. A driver emerges from out of separate hatch. He looks to be a youthful male soldier. He says furry girl because then we know the name. Excellent, even faster than last time. Both of them discover my splayed from lying in the mud. Huh? What's this? Did we run down a foreign? Stepping towards me, I notice the hairy girl is wearing a leather overcoat and jack boots. A pair of goggles strapped to her brow glint in the middle sun. Sorry about that. Are you okay? The tank command holds her hand on her hip and inspects me up and down. The girl seems content with my condition and proudly pats me on the shoulder. You'll live to fight another day, soldier. Take my word on it. Oh, I may not have mentioned it, but she appears to have a pair of furry ears sticking out of her head. In complete shock, I can't form any meaningful words. I just stutter and flap my bottom lip like a fish. A gentle switch from behind and she reveals a bushy tail extending from above her backside. Huh? What's the matter? You didn't hit your head when you fell, did you? It will appear she's some kind of a fox or a wolf. I have heard about this before, back home in Zimpangu. There are legendary deities known as Kitsune, fox demons that take the form of humans. But I never thought I would actually see one, let alone one driving a tank around Germania. Maybe I should stop being surprised by things on this continent. Who are you? Who am I? Isn't obvious? I'm Commander Erwin Rommel of Germania. Everyone knows that. Erwin Rommel, commander of the FUBAR personal guards. The driver nods and smiles at that statement. Isn't anyone else going to comment on the fact that she's got a fox ears and a tail? What were you doing standing in the middle of tarmac, soldier? Are you lost? I meant to be meeting with someone named Enzia Guderian. Do you know where I can find him? The fox turns to look at the driver who has started doing some minor repairs on the tank. Hey Guderian, there's someone here to see you. Right, I forgot to tell you. The greasy soldier turns on to me with a determined look, so this person is called Enzia Guderian. Guderian wears a leather coat over a loose-fitting khaki uniform and a pair of binoculars hang around his slim shoulders. He looks too delicate to be in the army, even his clothes are too big for him. I'm supposed to run Commander Yamamoto here through some basic training. Huh? You are going to run me through my basic training? No wait, that aside, there is an actual fox girl standing next to me. Is that so? You are Commander Yamamoto? Erina Rommel turns and pats me on the shoulder again. Sorry about all that. We had a few minutes spare, so we thought we'll test out one of our new Pansy models. There's a twinkle in her eye as she looks at the heavy machine with pride. Pansy? Well, it's incredible. I've never seen such a big tank move so quickly. Well, speed is everything after all. We must be as fast as the wind, as quiet as the forest, as fierce as fire, and as unwilling as a mountain. Sun Tzu. She knows her military history. Anyway, Commander Yamamoto, I'll probably see you at our staff meeting sometime. With a switch of her tail, the fox are going to walk back across the training grounds. I'm left alone with the tank's driver, my new instructor. Welcome to Germany, Commander Yamamoto. My name is Enzia Guderian. What do you think of the Fighting Fox? The Fighting Fox? It's a nickname. At least it's it's a working title. She can't find a nickname that sticks. Well, it was interesting. Meeting Commander Homer is a unique experience. There aren't many souls like her. You are telling me. Guderian sighs and takes a deep breath. In any case, it's time we run you through the basics of Germanic combat. If you are to be engaging enemies on the front, it's important you know how to control your unit. I guess he knows everything about my situation. I'm an experienced commander, I'm certain I can handle it. Though, I'm not sure what kind of unit I'll get. You are not in Oresia anymore, Commander Yamamoto. Germany shows quite unique leadership. I'm ready. Okay, we'll put you against some of our own soldiers to begin with. A good chance to play some war games. Now, do you want me to explain how battling works? Of course, explain the tutorial. Please give me a full explanation. Okay, let me just break the fourth wall for a bit then. Guderian seems to look past me as through someone else in present listening to all of these weirds. That is talking to the player, breaking the fourth wall. In my little dictator, raids are turn-based fighting encounters between one-on-one fighters, that's easy. You can have a party of 8 fighters and must be defeat each enemy lineup in order to progress further. Okay, so maximum fighters is 8. Prior to battle, you will be presented with a part selection screen. This screen is split into several sections. That barracks and party queue. And then of course in here, in the top left area you'll see barracks, from where available fighters can be selected to add to your party. Some fights are hidden and can only be unlocked as you progress through battling. Okay, you need to battle to unlock certain fighters. Okay, in the right hand section you can filter the barrack by type and select from a variety of other fighter types. Okay, some of these will only be available during certain battles, such as air supports. There is a party queue on the bottom left. This is where you can see your lineup of chosen fighters in your party. Each fight has a unique fighter cards, so you can see who is correct in your party before a battle. To add a fight to your party, simply click to add icon on fighter card in the barracks. It appears like this. Fight information. If you click fighter information icon on a fighter card, you'll be presented with an information window. Here you can compare and contrast the skill level of a fighters, as well as find other useful tips and hints. Yeah, we can show command, power, accuracy, critical armor, speed, and the primary weapon. Each fighter has stats related to power, armor, accuracy, critical, and speed. They are suited to specific terrain, which you can compare for battles against the mission log on the map screen. Map screen? Mission log? You'll find out more about map screen later on. Just remember, it has useful information ahead of battles. You can also get a simple idea of what fighter is like based on its traits, whether they are powerful or defensive. In the top left corner, you'll see information icon that will tell you which battle operation you are currently on. In top right, you'll see commander points or CP counter. This tells you how many CP you have left to spend on selecting fights for your party queue. Okay, that is always limited. Each fighter costs CP, and you can see how many points each one costs on the fighter card. We saw that. On the fighter card, you can also see the level of the fighter displayed beneath their name. Yeah, that shows here the levels. In the bottom right corner you have the search panel. Here you can force search into specific stats. For example, you may wish to improve your army speed in battle or its armor power. Whoa. After selecting your chosen stat to search, you can view your overall progress on the research tree. Research takes place over several battles, and you can see a counter on your current selected research. Yeah, it shows here 3. Once you are happy with this lineup in your party queue, hit the red fight button in top right screen. That is in your fight, okay. Following this, the battle will begin. You have fought like this before, but just to refresh your memory. The first fight in your party will enter the fray first. They will have 4 options. You can choose attack, skill, part or skip battle. This will represent a turn in the battle order. If you choose attack, you will be presented with that fighter's unique attack moves. Each attack has a type, as well as PP, indicating how many instances of the move are left. If you choose skills, you can select a skill move that will improve one of your fight stats. That's easy. This can vary from increased speed to increased attack power and even topping up HP by healing, that you can see in medkits. If you choose party, you will increase if you choose party, you will be presented with a new screen displaying the fights in your party. From here, you can swap out your current fighter for another fight in your party. If a member of your party has fallen on the field, they will be removed from the party. If you select easy difficulty, skip battle is always enabled. That is said there. If you set normal difficulty, skip battle only becomes available if you fail to win a battle and have to replay it. If you set expert difficulty, skip battle is always disabled. So what I will say to people who play easy or normal first, and then if you want to have a challenge, go for the expert. Of course, real souls can fight no matter what, but sometimes a tactical retreat may work for you. Be aware choosing to skip a bait will hamper access to new kind of fighters, there you go, as well as research and learning the abilities. There you go, the game saying that do not skip always, because skipping you can miss some fighters and research and learning abilities too. So it's like try to win. If you are not being able, then you press skip. Okay, there is always a downside doing the skip battle. There you go. Once you have made a move, the enemy will then take a move and so on. Whoever has the highest speed stat has an advantage. When an enemy is defeated, next enemy in their party will enter the fray and so on. The battle ends either when all the enemies are finished or you lose or skip the battle. You also have the option to restart the battle by hitting S key, and you will be returned to before the party selection screen. So this can be good, like you are seeing, okay, I did something wrong in here. You press start the battle, okay? That's always a good thing. One last thing, winning battles allow you to unlock new kinds of fighters, like tanks and special force. But Commander Yamato will actually level up the more you use him in battle, learning special moves in the process. This level up commander might be difference between winning and losing, so consider using him if you like. Also, winning battles allow you to capture important buildings, objects or works of art to bring back to Germania. Did you get all of that, or do I need to explain it again? I don't need, I already understand. I'll run just straight into it. Let's run these war games already. You really are confident, huh? I'm ready for whatever. Let me always save. Quick save in here and do save. I'm ready for whatever you can throw at me. Alright, let's do this. Standing to attention, I prepare myself for training battle. Okay, so it shows you select it is from this to go, this the formation, infantry type, that she is. Yeah, so rocket launcher. Power, okay, good power, some good. Those is not fast. I always press on the wrong side, it's more faster. Okay, so let's see first the fast. This is the faster one. So first this, Then we go for this and then this. Okay. We have a tank. Okay, but tank consumes a lot. So this slow, no, this is not slow. This slow one, but this higher level. Maybe take out this one. Anti-tank, they cost a lot, is what it is. This can take out this and add the tank. Okay. Interesting. Is not, they cost a lot. It's faster. Medkit, no. An open bolt, probe operates a machine gun, stun, can stun, let's try it. Yes, it's stunned, can move. Enemy Panzer 38 enters the field. Holy shit. I have 14. We can try to heal us. Nice. Whoa, we kill immediately. Whoa. Let's go for a tank. What are skills? Double boost your speed. Okay, that's not bad. Perform so it is to heal. Okay. Speed. Doesn't kill. Extra hits. Let's try this. Couldn't do another. I didn't kill. Yeah, it's gonna heal. Let's heal too. Like that, we aren't defeated yet. Ooh. We can't heal. Hey, we missed it. Okay. We're gonna lose the tank too. Now we have to go for us, ourselves. We can use these. Now we can use this sword, like not waste there. Okay, anti-tank. So meaning that a character that is anti-tank does more damage. Okay, boost our power. Two times, that's it. It's fast. No, we are stunned. I could never move. She attacked 3 times. That's not fair. Whipping this sweat from my brow, I see off there Mirkroids. That was a real workout. Okay, we needed to lose because it was she attacked, and then with the second attack she stunned and then attacked. Like, what the hell? We needed to lose. Not bad. If you keep this up, you might even make general bursts. Actually, I might already be beyond a general burst, since I'm a special military advice to the bar. Huh? You are being given such a massively high position? Huh? I talked down to you too. Well, yeah, weren't you told who I was before training? Gudrun pulls a more serious expression. Homo told me a little about your assignment. You were a warrant officer in the army of Zipangu, but now you are meant to be fighting at the front line, giving advice to our generals or something like that. Something like that. Now the rumors make sense about the personal relationship with the bar, I mean. Huh? Personal relationship? Since you are a soldier, an advisor, a leader, a diplomat, and a plaything, I'll roll into one, her favorite. Favorite? There's no way that's true. I just got here. You make me sound like a teacher pet. Or perhaps the perfect armchair general? Well, soldiers are talking, as a foreign promoted to such high position with personal access to the leader. There are many in the army and general style who want to use strung up our shot. I gulp at the prospect. What if they find out I'm a Zipangese spy as well? It's only my first day too. At least that's what Rommel say. I don't actually have access to the general style. What is your rank? I'm a general, sir, in charge of Panzer and motorized infantry divisions. Panzer. There's that word again. Tanks, sir. It's what we call them in Germania, like this beauty over here. Guderian indicated to speedy monstrosity from earlier. They are much more developed than anything we have in Zipangu. Incredible. Whenever in the future war the battle is fought, armored troops will play the decisive role. Rommel is always saying stuff like that. I don't doubt it myself. Well, keep at it. I'm sure they will serve the army well. I remember now. I meant to show you to your quarters. Well, it will be handy to put my bags down somewhere. I've been carrying them around all day. Please follow me by this way. Goodell leads me out of the training grounds toward the barracks nearby. Come on, this way. We are just on the second floor. Climbing the outdoor steps to the second floor balcony. Goodell takes out a key and opens one of the rooms. Enter the bedroom, I place my bags down and take it all in. 2 bunks, a desk, a typewriter, shelf, wardrobes, plenty of light, private quarters. Simple and rustic, it will do nicely. A nearby door leads into a shared en-suite bathroom with a bath and a western toilet. Well, at least it's not a hole in the ground. By the way, my bed is on the left. Huh? You mean we'll be sharing? Forgive me, I know I left military advisor deserves something more stately. But this is all that's available right now with our budget. It was either this or no new tanks for our division. That's alright, I'm fine with sharing. Good to hear. I get up early and go to bed late. Don't disturb me when I'm in the bathroom. A new roommate and is already setting rules. That's fine, I'll probably be away from Alto Berlin a lot in any case. I guess I'll get settled in. I got a large task ahead of me. I should enjoy any peace I can get. Meanwhile, over the board in nearby Polix. Yeah, but like I say, it's a visual novel with RPG elements because the battle, right? The battle how it is, forming party, so at the same time managing because you need to be careful with the points, right? That you need to put in the party, so managing at the same time, it's like a satire parody of World War II. You can see the resemblance. One of the issues that I didn't like is it starts slowly, right? It's like in the beginning you see Rommel fighting against a soldier from Britannia, right? You see that, you are like, okay, nice, immediately fighting, it starts like how it should be, right? Like about the war, but then it ends and goes back on time, right? That's telling how everything started, but it's slow. Like you start with your character telling who he is, where he is, and it's slow to start how to the game, right? To the battle, to the war, right? How it's gonna be. It's a shame that starts slowly, and yes, it's not one thing that I like on visual novels that starts super slow. It's like, okay, one thing is telling backstory, a little bit of backstory, and then okay, to the fight. Other thing is super slow, everything to the detail. Can put players a little bit tired because so slow that it goes, I understand that they want to explain everything for the player. It's like, okay, I understand that, but they could be fast, because you in this, like, you have the RPG element, and Ubuntu is like, you only do, for now I only did 2 times, that was in the beginning and now in the tutorial. It's like, it takes so much time. Like, I think they could have moved faster, not super slow. And imagine, like I was saying, like the main game, you have 3 things that you need to do. Like, you start with 1 unlock, and then the other 2 are locked. I don't know how you do it. And then you have that prequel. I think it was like that. It was called prequel. It is with the cat girl that says that is. I think it's gonna be with Rommel. So it's like, imagine only to beat the main game and then play the prequel. It will take a lot of time. So like. And the game has multi-plannings. They say there is multi-plannings. I don't know is how. Like, for now, you didn't have a lot of choice, right? Because what the choice were, like, I only saw, I think it was 2 choice that you could have, because the others is to talk with people. Those aren't choice. So like, for now only 2, because like I say, it's only starting now. So it's kind of shame that they did like super slow. I think they could like, okay. You see Hummel fighting with Britannia, right? And then, okay, you use your character and rush through it, not like super slow. But like, in terms of story, if you know about World War II, you're gonna understand. Yes, it's a satire parody, but you understand what it's all about. So it's not like, oh my god, hard to understand. In artwork, very good artwork, nothing like bad drawing. It shows the effort. In terms of objectivity, is one thing that I didn't like, that knowing that it has multiple endings, and then we have that prequel game in there with the cat girl, like, and you see me that it's gonna be a long game. And like I always say, visual novels players want to beat in 1 run. So with multiple endings, 2 to 3 hours, and with only 1 ending, even if it has multiple endings but only has 1 ending, 4 hours. Like that, the player can beat in 1 run. And this game, it's all about 10 to 15 hours, I think. So it's like, not not a small game. But like, you are like, even they say it's a type parody, but you see that there isn't a lot of comedy inside. There is some parts that you can laugh, but not a lot, because maybe where is the parody is when the battles, right, when the Germany is fighting with the other countries, and there is maybe the parody that starts, because for now it's like understanding what they want to do. So maybe it's where you're gonna see more. But yeah, like, if you like visual novels, I'll say you go to Steam and search for My Little Dictator, and you're gonna enjoy the game. The story, the artwork, very good. It has RPG element too at the same time, and some management because of the points to put on your party. So you're gonna enjoy that at the same time. You can skip battle if you play on easy. You can always skip battle, but you have one side that is you don't receive a lot of new soldiers and level ups like that. So that's why the game say to battle. Never skip battle like that. You can obtain new soldiers like that. So it's one thing that they say you can skip, but there is a downside. I like that. The players won't do always skip. So immediately one good thing in there. If you are not a big fan of visual novel, I'll say give it a try. I think you're gonna enjoy it, because even that is all about World War II. There is you're gonna have fun because how it is the game fun. Like you are trying, yes, the slow start that it is, but I think when the war starts is when the game gets exciting, because you're gonna see a lot more parody and the RPG system being put in the game. But it takes time. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy some gameplay of My Little Dictator. Again, if you want to give it a try, you can go on Steam, search there, and buy it, and then give your feedback to developers, because I think it's their first game. I don't have 100% sure, but maybe it's their first game, and give it feedback, because with that feedback on their second game, With that feedback, then if they continue making visual novels, they can improve. So, hope you guys enjoy some gameplay of My Little Dictator. See you guys next time. Bye.